Ladies, gentlemen, others, welcome to another great day here of Challengers Call of Duty here on Clutch GG. My name is Rob Marston III. I am here with my boy Kyle. How you doing, man?
Doing pretty good, and I'm very excited, very excited for these matches today. It's going to be determining who is going to be going to the playoffs in many cases today, Robert.
Yeah, I mean, it's the top four have kind of got themselves locked in, but down on the bottom four, it is a mixy one, and anything can happen over the next couple of matches here tonight. So for you on the first match tonight, we got Toronto Ultra Academy versus Whatever It Takes. Two teams that are definitely close enough to be able to get a spot.
Yeah, both these teams, they're playing for a chance to survive. If you don't win this one, then your hopes and chances of making it any further in the Elite Series, done, dashed into smithereens. But for the other, gives them a lot of hope for when they go up against their next team later. The matches we're going to be doing today so far are going to be Toronto Ultra versus Whatever It Takes, and then after that, Stallions versus 18 and Cracked, aka Infamous Esports. Stallions also one of those teams that is on the cusp of winning. We've got four teams, all the teams that are in contention, 1-3. So it's really going to come down to these head-to-heads, Robert.
Absolutely. A lot of implications. And remember, head to head is the tiebreaker. So you got to win a lot of these matchups. It's not going to be about map wins. It's going to be about beating the person right in front of you. Let's take a quick look at some of the maps we got here for Ultra Academy and Whatever It Takes, our first match of the night. We're going to be starting off with some Gava2 Hardpoint, which Whatever It Takes and Toronto both have not so stellar records on this map.
Yeah, it's not been very stellar records for both these teams so far. Obviously, in the fact that they are the sixth and the seventh seed, tied for fifth is Toronto Ultra. But yeah, both these teams have been having tough times in the Elite Series so far. It should be more in theory of an even match for both these teams. Currently, both teams are on a 2 and a 3 loss streak, respectively. So both these teams looking to get out of this with a good Gavudu hardpoint.
Let's see which team is going to start off strong. Definitely going to be looking over towards the ARs for this one, as always. Such a big deal on this Gava 2, especially on the rotation and some of the bigger money hills like P3 and P4. Definitely going to keep our eye on that. I hope everybody is having a fantastic evening tonight, and we are happy that you're joining us here for some great Call of Duty action.
Yes, indeed. And on this map, it's definitely going to be an interesting one, I do feel, because in my experience with Whatever It Takes, these players are pretty good at just getting good holistic map control. Whereas, I don't know, whenever I see Mohawk and his team, they always seem to go straight on in and try and fry people, which in this game definitely helps. But what also is going to be helping is this grenade from Zinx, instantly taking down a lot of the Toronto Ultra players.
Great first couple of kills here for Whatever It Takes. Hardpoint still contested. As Divaco being a bit of a troublemaker on the inside, just running around the map over. He gets a kill in the process, finally getting naded out. So Whatever It Takes now, gonna have full control onto this one as they get the first break. Easy bracket just in the back there, just holding on as Ultra Academy try to push through back mid, but he is just not gonna let that happen. So now a reorganization as they start the rotation over to P2.
Yeah, and we do see Zinx is going to be over on P2 alongside Vickle, although, yeah, Ultra Academy going to be there with a lot more force. So whatever it takes, they are going to be getting a quite sizable amount of time off of this, almost to where it makes this transition to P2 that's not been going well for them early on not so big of a deal. They've definitely bought themselves a lot of time, Robert, to get back into this next hill.
A lot of time, but no one's going to be there on the rotation here for next. But Whatever It Takes, got themselves a huge lead, putting a goose egg to start it off for here for Ultra Academy. And it is going to be Whatever It Takes. They're going to be first on, but it's about to get mixy up top. Couple of kills going in favor of Whatever It Takes. So they should be able to maintain control of this one. Ultra Academy pushed back once again. Going to have to try to reorganize and push on through. But so far, this is proving pretty difficult, especially when you see bracket 6-0.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit of a surprising one there for Ultra Academy. They got so set up on the objective and got literally 0 seconds on the hill time. Whatever it takes, first time of asking, hopped right in and killed every single person off of it. Zinx is going to be getting finally taken down, and Ultra Academy, they are going to be overrunning the objective again, trying to get these good spawns. We do see Vickle has already made his way towards the landing craft. This is some good position now coming out from Toronto Ultra. But this time, Robert, I'm hoping that it has a little bit more impact than their last rotation.
Absolutely. This is gonna be a big hill here for Whatever It Takes. They're gonna be holding to these spawns, but they do have to get Vickle out of the point first. And it looks like they're gonna do so as Pentagram gonna hop on in, but he's gonna try to get that nade out of there, but can't quite do it as Hixie gonna pick up 2. Still gonna be Whatever It Takes, holding on to the spawns for right now. But look at number 5, that's Scrap pushing on up. He's gonna get stopped. So a full reset here for Ultra Academy is gonna kind of get onto P1, get control of that, start to rain hell from above, and see if they can finally break through this hill.
Yeah, Toronto Academy. This is a very difficult position to be in, although that's a very big kill from Hicks, and he's going to be able to get in around the back and probably get some strong back ridges onto the both of them. Brack, he's trying to get a little bit of help
Ooh,
here,
makes
but
it
no help is going to be given. So 30 seconds of breaking time for Toronto Ultra, that's not bad at all, especially with the fact that they've still maintained these spawns as well as P1. So whatever it takes, that's a tough loss. They're going to be losing a lot of hill time off this, and what could be even worse is this rotation here. Zinx, he's trying to find someone to justify a push in here, but he's going to have to deal with Vickle. And Toronto Ultra Academy, this is a very good rotation from them.
seemed like they were waiting a little while there to finally push on through, but now I'm starting to see why. As they got the boat spawns there on the bomb, give them a little bit of a shorter distance to travel to try to get to this next hill. But it is going to be Ultra Academy, who are back in this game after holding those last 30 seconds there on the P3, who are going to maintain spawns for the moment. But look at Pentagram, going to get aggressive and hop right on immediately, and Ultra Academy are starting to spawn out and regain the spawns just like that. As Scrap and Mohawk going to be there towards the back. It's going to have to hold tight, though. They don't want to get killed out by whatever it takes, and it looks like they're going to be able to hold on for right now. So spawns and point for Ultra Academy starting to make the climb back up, make this game even once again. They're making it close.
Yeah, and that's a very necessary win for for Ultra Academy. If they lost that, whatever it takes, they would have been able to just even further stop them from getting this hill time on one of the hills that they really should be getting the most of their hill time on. If you get the rotation to this objective P4, you should definitely be able to hold it down. Yeah, even if you get those close spawns by ship, you're basically putting yourself through the ring of fire. I'll say, like, you have to go through one little choke point. It's not very easy. So Ultra Academy able to sustain their push onto this objective, although they had some early difficulties, is definitely a good sign of what things to come.
Rotations being the utmost important thing for both of these squads, and it's definitely showing. You can see it on the mini map how early these guys are going. They do not want to lose that precious time. They need the spawns to do it, especially on this map, which is so big with hills bouncing back and forth all over the map. It makes all the difference in the world. Ultra Academy going to be able to push on through. They don't have the spawns quite yet, but this is a good start. They're going to have the numbers on the inside. Vickle going to get a nice kill on bottom cage. Going to be looking for Proto on the inside. Going to get some bullets and can't quite find them, but he's got the backup there as Mohawk starts to go on a 5-3, starts to fry. Ultra Academy bringing this one back. They have about tied the game, and they even need spawns to do it. They just pushed on through, the gun skill doing all the work for this squad.
Yeah, Robert, these last three objectives have been absolutely massive for Ultra Academy. Not only are they able to break P3 with still 30 seconds remaining and maintain the rotation of P4, that was the big thing right there. If they had given up the P4 rotation for whatever it takes in exchange for those 30 seconds, wouldn't have been as worth it. And I would think that whatever it takes would have been able to hold it down pretty dang well. But even though Ultra Academy have been getting these early rotations and getting almost beaten out of them early on, they've still set it to where their opponents aren't able to set up very properly.
And back to P1 we go, as whatever it takes. Gonna actually have a stronghold on this one once again. Ultra Academy don't really want to let this one slip through their fingers again after that bad showing in the beginning where they were down about 30-0, weren't able to get much time on this at all. But now here comes the push. A couple of kills to go the way of Ultra, trying to get 3, but Pentagram gonna hold strong. Going to be able to maintain this point here for whatever it takes. P1 seems to be the money hill for whatever it takes. One more final push here out of Ultra Academy, but the rotations have already begun. And it looks like whatever it takes are going to win this foot race.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting now. Toronto Ultra, they fully won the rotation of the cell the last time, Robert. But this time, Ultra Academy is going to be getting their second best to whatever it takes. Now, Brack on a nice heady, and they've got pretty much a good cutoff point in theory from where Zinx is holding, but we see a lot of players from Ultra Academy getting into the ship regardless. Scrap trying to do some tomfoolery on the steps and is able to find one, looking for the second, and does get Brax as well. So that's a full retake coming in now from Toronto Ultra.
Toronto Ultra doing everything right on these first 3 hills. They seem to be just completely dominating in terms of gun skill, just taking the power positions and making whatever it takes. I'm sorry, making Ultra pay for it. Now Ultra going to be hopping on in, still maintaining for right now, but that flank there from Pentagram is going to flip the point back in whatever it takes favor. But now you see the timer, 33 seconds. Ultra Academy are going to have some work to do. They're going to have to push on through to get this point, and then also have to worry about spawns, which looks like Mohawk might be considering at the moment. He's going to be hanging out towards the back. Wouldn't be shocked if he tries to cut on through and get these spawns, but it looks like whatever it takes are going to take the earlier approach once again. They're going to be set up for next.
Yeah, notice how whatever it takes is not really taking any of the time here. They're just making sure that their opponents can't, because they know they've got the rotation next. They've got Zinx pretty much chilling there, shooting people right in the face as well as Proto. They know they've got this rotation, so they need to, at the very least, deny these last 26 seconds to Ultra Academy at all costs, whatever it takes to deny this time. Living up to the namesake there, Robert. But either way, it hurts Ultra Academy much more to not get those 20 seconds than for them to not get those 20 seconds.
Couldn't agree more. Whatever it takes, holding strong and steadfast right now, still maintaining the spawns. Ultra Academy, we've seen this before. Just setting up. Here comes the streak that Mox going to be able to grab two. That's going to open things up just a little bit. But now these gunfights are going to be ultra crucial. Hixie going to be put in a 1v1 here, but he's got to get there before the spawns come in. I don't think he is. He's going to get shot right in the back there by Zinx. So once again, whatever it takes, going to hold strong, going to get that 200 mark. They're going to make this a game. And now all eyes over to P4. And then look on your minimap. That's Pentagram, number 4. He's already pushed on through. He's stuck all the way behind Toronto Ultra. He's going to have spawns for this.
That is absolutely massive. And you see them go right into their hands. Once again, 10 seconds left. And Ultra Academy, not looking too good for them there. Hixie and the guys are going to be able to send up Scrap and him to try and do some damage. But Brax basically got this cutoff point. This is exactly why you don't want to be getting stuck on these ship spawns if at all possible. Because you're able to get a strong cutoff on both of them pretty much. You're pretty much able to funnel people down into like all of them. So yeah, it's not going to be a fun spot for Ultra to break back into. And with 35 seconds left in the game, potentially, Ultra are definitely going to have to make a convincing performance here, Robert.
And they're just straight up just trying to punch a hole right through the middle, and they're just not able to get in. Look at the kill feed just lighting up for whatever it takes. You see the 5-stack and rolling. Ultra Academy spawning deep cliffs. They're going to have one more shot at this, but it's looking all but over. Whatever it takes. Starting off strong. Scrap, though, going to make one final effort. He's going to wait. He's going to just kind of play his life and get this kill on the Proto. Great play. Great moves there out of Scrap. The movement coming on through and is going to save the game just in the nick of time. But we got to get ready. We're going to be headed over to P5 here, and that's where it's all going to end.
Oh, and Scrap still keeping it alive for his team. It's all well and good to have this rotation, but if you lost that fight with those 10 seconds remaining, if you're Scrap, you definitely would not have lived to see this rotation be useful to you, but now it really is. Look at this. Miles and miles to go if you're whatever it takes, and enemies riddling your path the entire time. Proto getting fragged out now as well. And Brack, this is a big fight for him to win, and now they get the close spawns. Scrap going to try and cut this off now, and this is going to be a big moment for Toronto Ultra.
Big moment right here. They got to play perfect. Whatever it takes. Only 7 seconds away of taking this map. But Ultra, so far, getting the kills they need to. Ship is going to be populated by whatever it takes members. And it looks like they're going to make the most of it here. They're going to find a couple of kills inside cage. And Pentagram going to just chow this on to Scrap. And he's going to win it. But he's going to get traded out. One more push here out of Bragg. But Ultra Academy holding it tight. They're going to hit the double century mark. And just like that, we got ourselves a game. And we're headed over to P1.
We really are, and we do see Proto getting there first. This is also Pentagram's playground. We see him chilling up inside of the artillery gun little corridor there more times than I can count. Zink's able to get a solid kill, but still Hixie to deal with up close and personal, and he does take him down, but in comes the rest of the whatever it takes players. They are outnumbered, but not outgunned. In goes Brack and his teammate. They do get good control over it so far, but the Toronto Ultra players, they're firm and ready to challenge this.
This is going to be a bloodbath, but they got to get in. They got to get in now. First couple of kills. Scrap and Mohawk going to be pushing on in. Are they going to be able to stay alive? It doesn't look like it. Whatever it takes. Made it interesting towards the end, but they are going to win it 250 to 212 and are going to take this first map.
Yeah, I was getting very worried there for a second, Robert. It was that P5 for good old Toronto Ultra. They were holding it down so well, and when that flank didn't come out, that was that key moment I was talking about. I really thought that if they were able to win that, they would easily be able to focus forward on their opponents, all coming from ship, and get a good cutoff on the tank, which is exactly what happened. That flank was the only thing that was really making it difficult for Toronto Ultra Academy to hold on to that objective. And when that was gone, they were able to get a good hold on it. But fortunately for the side of whatever it takes, they were able to keep this map control not relegated to an area that doesn't totally include P1. And they were able to funnel themselves in there with just significant amount of force.
Yeah, you definitely saw it. It took a while for the guns to warm up a little bit. You know, you got to get them heated up and all nice and good to go. And in Toronto, kind of waited toward the end there to finally start to get them going. You saw Scrap there on that last P4 was really holding it down, really put his team back into it with a couple of great kills, a lot of great movement out of him to keep his team alive throughout. But it was just too little too late, as whatever it takes, still just headstrong on that last rotation.
Yeah, now we are going to be going into a little bit of uncharted territory here for both these teams, at least as far as the Elite Series is concerned, Robert, because Berlin, none of these teams have played this map in Search and Destroy in the Elite Series just yet, as far as the stats can tell. And so I'm sure, obviously, with the amount of map selection in this game, they've played it in other modes, but we don't really have a whole lot of comparison to how they do up against the Elite Series teams in this map and mode.
No, it's going to be a complete toss-up here, but if there's one thing I guess we can say is that this is definitely the map where we start to see maybe some snipers get pulled out. Might see some crazy tactics. I mean, we've been seeing a lot over in the CDL of certain spots that we didn't know about here in Berlin. So I'm curious to see what these guys are gonna be able to pull out of their back pocket here on this one.
Oh yeah, I'm really hoping these guys got a sniper in their back pocket, and I wouldn't be too surprised if I saw Pentagram pulling it out every single season of COD that I've been casting him. He's been a really lights out sniper rifle player. I'm thinking back to Modern Warfare, where the things that I saw him do, oh, it was so unsavory, the things he did to those people. But yeah, on the other side, you do have a little bit of a presence potentially there for the snipers as well, and it's not absolutely everything on this map. There are definitely ways you can get around it.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, there's just lots of places you can go, and lots of places you can get a push on through. A lot of ways you can kind of break any of these sites for sure. And so it's going to come down to a lot of the scrappier fights inside of the bomb sites, but those first bloods definitely aren't going to hurt either. We are going to be loading into there very shortly. I realized we didn't get to finish totally going through the rest of the map set, but for those curious, after this Berlin S&D, we do have a Tuscan Control coming up next, which should be a good one for sure. That's one of my favorite maps and mode combinations to really watch throughout the series. And then, if necessary, we will have Berlin once again for a hard point, and then finishing off with everybody's favorite Bocage here on a Search and Destroy. So, depending on the outcome of this, I think we can start to see some trends as we go throughout the rest of the series.
Yeah, I mean, it was a slow start at the very least for Toronto Ultra in the respawn, but by the end, they were looking like they were in a full swing of things. Although, I don't want to say like they had a slow start in a certain aspect, and it was just making sure that they used the control that they have and translate that in the hill time. Because there were a lot of times, you remember, that they got good control over a lot of areas, but just got broken instantaneously as soon as their opponents breathed on them. Towards the end of the game, that was absolutely not the case, but we just got to make sure that early on for Toronto Ultra, especially in any respawn, that when they do get control, they're able to translate it into good time. And that's the thing that is worrying me about Toronto Ultra so far from what I've seen from them.
Yeah, I mean, this is all gonna come down. I mean, it's Search and Destroy always gonna be a different type of mode. I always call it the coin flip because as much as you see, I'll highlight a lot of the struggles that these teams have. They might be able to flip it around. Just Search and Destroy just comes different to a lot of players, especially here in the challenger scene for sure. So you never know who's gonna pull out. But you did point out Pentagram specifically. I mean, he went 30 and 20 in that last map and had 20 untraded kills. I mean, he's certainly going to be the Slayer to kind of look at for whatever it takes, who might be able to carry his team and try to make this quickly 2-0.
Yeah, and I mean, I definitely see his teammates playing around him and his sniper prowess if he does decide to pull it out. It definitely leads me to believe that there could be a lot of A pushes on the attack because of your ability to get good sniper overwatches onto that. You could probably get some good intel on the mid map as well. So yeah, I think this is, despite the fact that they haven't played it a whole lot, in theory, it's a good map pick for whatever it takes.
Yeah, I think so. Definitely just going to rely on the gun skill and Pentagram, the newest pickup. And although this team, is still kind of in the mix, still trying to earn their spot, still a team you definitely don't want to be on the wrong side of. And you don't want them to start getting hot because at that point it's going to be over. But Ultra Academy definitely showed toward the end of that first hard point that they're going to be here to stay and they're going to be not going to go down so easy. I think they definitely still got some skill. I mean, this roster is definitely good. That's why they're still here in the Elite Series. So I definitely expect them to put up a fight as well.
I mean, you're never really down and out up against anyone unless maybe it's Texas Nation. As
maybe
we know, they're very undefeated right now. But either way, and any team in the Elite Series can pretty much beat any other team in the Elite Series. We've seen it happen in a lot of these Open Cups so far, so it's not out of the realm of possibility that Ultra Academy pull one over on whatever it takes on a given day, and vice versa. So it's still a very open game, ladies and gentlemen. And especially if that hard point's anything to go by.
Yeah, I mean, I think undefeated for Texas Nation is being too nice about it when it comes to that squad. That squad is just absolutely filthy in all ways.
Very undefeated.
Yeah, very, very extremely undefeated. Even they're definitely the team to beat right now. But let's focus on where we're at right here. We are loading up here on Berlin, Search and Destroy. Whatever it takes, going to be up 1-0 here in this series. Ultra Academy going to look for a quick answer right back. We'll be on defense, so whatever it takes. I'm going to start off with an A push to kick this off.
It looks like Ultra Academy was expecting exactly what I was expecting in a push to B. They sent 3 over there, and only Mohawk going to be here. Not even a whole lot of intel in the middle of the map. The plant's going to be going down pretty quickly from whatever it takes.
I think they realized the situation and were able to get the quick plant down, so A site it is. So Ultra Academy rotate over through T3 and look for the first initial pick. Grenades flying everywhere, but Brack is going to find that first blood onto Scrap. Whatever it takes, he's kind of standing by at the moment. As Rack finds another one. Proto is going to spot Pixie on the side. Michael's going to push on through and pick him up, but is going to get traded out. So a quick one here for whatever it takes here on offense.
Damn, what a round, dude. That was pretty much as clean of a round as it gets unless you get the flawless. Unfortunately, Bickle is going to be making sure that they don't get the flawless round, but by other means, it was pretty much a flawless round. They went in, took the site without any possible repercussions coming out in the immediate, and then were able to get control over the middle of the map as well as the main approach to the objective. No flank was really possible there for Ultra Academy with the amount of map control that they had given up. So whatever it takes, making it look pretty easy.
Make it easy, making a statement, continuing the dominance that we saw from that last map. With Ultra Academy, like we said, don't want to count them out quite yet. And as I say that, Mohawk going to grab that first blood. It's going to be another A-site push. It's going to get on the inside. They're not going to quick plant this at the moment. They're going to try to get some information first. He's going to kind of wait, but now here comes the plant. Pentagram gets a sight on it, but he doesn't see Scrap on the left side of him, or the right side of him, rather. I don't even know my own direction. Going to find that kill, and Zinx with a follow-up as well. So, 2v2 situation here on this A-bomb.
Bomb did still get planted by Vickle before he did die, so it's still good for Ultra Academy. Although what's not good is that Scrap runs right into the path of Zinx. All going to be on Mohawk now. He's in the back of the train station. Going up solo is going to be Brack to deal with him, and he goes down. No possibility for a trade just yet, and he's able to get away with that scot-free. Zinx still trying to find him. 18 seconds left. Mohawk is going to be going right back into his presence, and he is going to be able to see him pre-firing the bomb, predicting the defuse, but unfortunately is going to get a shot right back to the head from Zinx.
Oh, that was just cataclysmic timing there. Mohawk just thought at that point he was going to hop on bomb and just start shooting at the bomb site, but ultimately he was right behind him, breathing down his neck. So whatever it takes, strong 2-0 starts to continue on and make sure Toronto Ultra know where they stand.
Yeah, and for a second I thought that Zinx was going to get the bad timing by trying to mantle out the window, but he canceled it literally at the perfect moment and got the kill right in the back. I don't think he would have been able to transition himself into a spot to get that trade in time if he was able to mantle out that window successfully, so good for him. This time around, though, Toronto Ultra, I do see them putting a lot more effort towards A, although the mid-map presence is not quite there for them, so it's going to be difficult if they do decide to get control over A, but they are making this quick rotation, so that does open up some different difficulties for whatever it takes.
Some explosions send 2 to the grave. 3-2 situation, and take a look at number 7 on your minimap. It's going to be Hixie. Going to be on the long flank, and I think Ultra Academy is just going to play this slow, or attempt to try to wait for him, but now 2v2 situation. It's going to be Hixie and Scrap. Going to try to prevent this bomb from going down. Proto and Pentagram, the double piece, staying alive. Just going to kind of wait this one out, see if they can get an early pick. I think they know the Ultra Academy all kind of stacked up over towards this A site.
Ooh,
They're going to need to fight their way through, but Hixie going to find Pentagram. He's going to find one. He doesn't see Proto. He's waiting inside a cubby. I thought he was kind of waiting out of the corner, but now he sees that Hixie going to get a quick 2. Ultra Academy now on the board.
Oh, man, that is so unfortunate for whatever it takes. They had the route to A through their opponent's spawn wide open. They just didn't have the intel to know that they could take it. Literally, they had flipped spots for a solid minute there, but then the shot call came out. All right, we're going to go back in and try and take this again. But unfortunately, their opponents had already made their way through the train station and got a perfect cutoff. I honestly thought that Hixie was going to be able to take down the both of them because they're pretty much lined up perfectly. But either way, Toronto Ultra Academy able to take that one out very nicely.
Now they got to look up the tie of the game, and it's going to be the first B push of the map. Move on over towards this P2 side. Just going to see if they can find any early picks. If anybody from whatever it takes decides to get a little too aggro. And I did see a sniper there. I wasn't sure that was on. It's going to be Scrap pulling out the sniper here to see if he can find an early pick. I think he got eyes on the Zinc. I'm not totally sure. But it is going to be Hixie who's going to end up finding the first blood, but he's going to get traded out. And Scrap does find one with the sniper. Zink's going to go down. 3v2 here for Toronto Ultra.
But now Proto, he's got the sniper on the other end, but all this commotion over at B has definitely led whatever it takes to give a lot of attention to it. And Ultra Academy, they realize this. They pretty much got to beat in all the players, and so they're going to be rotating over to A. This is going to be forcing whatever it takes to pretty much split their attention here. No intel on B. You've got Brack over there, not really a real method of getting out there until he has the intel that they're over at A. And so Proto, he's just pretty much trying to get some Overwatch and determine what they want to do next.
And Proto might be in a good position. He might be able to get some eyes. He's going to fire a shot over towards Mohawk, but can't quite find him. But he's actually going to get the reach out of Mohawk and is going to get that kill. 2v1 scenario here for Proto with the sniper. Bomb does get planted over towards A site, so he definitely got work cut out for him. I think he was able to pick up an automaton here. Sniper's back out though, but he doesn't know. Ultra's creeping around the side. Not going to be able to get into that gunfight quick enough. So Ultra Academy tying this game up at 2.
Ultra Academy creeping up on them on those stairs once again. Scrap, this is a very familiar situation as the previous round, and it's going to be one that leads to the death of another round for whatever it takes. Those stairs, just not really their best friends today, Robert. But either way, I'm liking what I'm seeing a lot more from Ultra Academy. They seem to be holding things down, especially in the mid-map, really good, and keeping things open for the rotation. They've been getting some really good intel as well. They were able to figure out very quickly that whatever it takes, the remaining players that they hadn't killed had pretty much dedicated themselves to B, so rotation to A was very much a good move to make.
Good move to make indeed now. Whatever it takes. Signing these stairs once again. To this A push, and Zink's gonna find 2. Start this off nice and hot. 4v2 scenario. So now the aggression gonna go on in. Pentagram finding a 3rd. A quick one. Bloody on the catwalk is whatever it takes. Gonna take the lead right back.
Dang, what a clapback from whatever it takes. 2 rounds in a row. They lost, and it wasn't looking too fresh, we'll say that. But this round is really what they needed to get things back in the swing of things. It was very akin to the first round. Basically perfect push to A. And so, Ultra Academy, they're probably going to be thinking about how they can best hold A once again, because we now see whatever it takes being able to break onto it very strongly once again.
Trying Ultra now. Going to go for A once again. We've only had 1 B push, and it really wasn't even a B push. It was basically just a fall back as Proto. Going to continue that dominance of the sniper. He's going to look for Vickle as well. I thought he was on the bomb site, but no, he's actually behind the window, so you can't quite see him yet. But he's going to wait towards the stairs. Can't quite get that shot down, so he's got to back it up now. I love seeing the snipers back in search and destroy, let me tell you.
Yeah, Proto's doing a pretty dang good job with it as well. He's definitely held up the push to where his teammates can get in position to make this re-rotate, but Hixie realizes when Fire does take them down. That's very good on his part. Looking for the next one, and Fire does take down 1, but the 3rd is to the side of him. It's all going to be on Vickle, who is going to be rotating into Fire now, trying to get behind him. Look at this flanking play. The stairs are the best friends of Toronto Ultra Academy. It's all on Pentagram now. 24 seconds, and Vickle, he's rotated back to the site. This is great intel from Pentagram.
Pentagram holding the trigger. Now one again, the gunfight, but Vickle just read it like a book and was able to turn right around up the stairs. Like you said, it's their best friends. Got right on up there, held the line, and was able to get that kill. And now Toronto Ultra have tied it up at 3.
Yeah, we'll call it a stairway to heaven situation for Ultra Academy. Whenever there's stairs involved, they are the kings. But either ways, on a real note, they're back 3-3, and this is the first round of the second half of Search and Destroy, where we've been seeing momentum shift back and forth, especially in these last 2 rounds. This is going to be the key moment for both these teams. It's always been sort of like a mythical round in the Call of Duty community. Round 7, if you win it, you tend to win the rest of the thing because the momentum shift. But either way, it's mathematically going to really help you out here as well.
Scrap gonna get that intel. Toronto Ultra, whatever it takes to decide to push over on the B site. The quick plant goes down. You see the rest of Ultra rotating on over, and it's gonna be a couple of kills going in favor of Ultra. Here comes Scrap at the sniper, gonna be onto that bomb site. See if he can find anybody. Zinks and Brock, the last one's up now. Pixie's gonna go on the defuse. Brock is gonna find him though, but is gonna go down at the same time. So Vickle in a 1v3. Or Zinks in a 1v3, I'm sorry. And he actually has a chance. He's going to go around the bomb. So he's going to find one. He's going to jump out the back side. Is he going to be able to get eyes on the Vickle here? He can't get the kill. So Mock going to hop onto the bomb and get this defuse. So close, but no dice. Ultra Academy taking this lead.
That was very close, my friend. I honestly thought that Zinks was going to be able to rope-a-dope them like 3 times in a row. He went right into the site in the belly of the beast and was able to get away with that kill, but unfortunately you can't get too far. You got to get yourself into you basically have to push into a line of sight that either one of these players can cover after that, and you got to hope that you can win the gunfight, get the first shot. But unfortunately for Zinks, that wasn't really a strong possibility. So Ultra Academy putting themselves in a great position for that retake. Great overall mid-map control, and it was, you know, really good. But sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. At first lead grab here for Toronto Ultra. And like you said, that round 7, definitely something you want to take a hold of to try to swing the pendulum back to your direction. Proto, that sniper, man, is just doing so much damage at this point. Gathering all the intel, just scaring away the rodents over towards the back of that A site. They're keeping Ultra at bay for right now. They're going to reposition. Hixie is still up there over by the stairs. Where else for Toronto Ultra but the stairs? Just going to kind of wait it out, but they're going to keep pushing on through to A.
And they do find Zinx over on the opposing stairs as well. That's a big kill for them to be getting. But this push is slow enough to where potentially we could be seeing the flank from Breck coming to good fruition. They do have Scrap back there, making sure that no one is coming through the train track side, but no one is really giving too much mind to him, so this could be a very effective push from him.
Could be a very effective push indeed. The scenario, Brack is going to find one. He's going to be able to find two. Doesn't check the right corner, so he's going to get shot in the back there by Scrap. 26 on the clock. He's trying to fire some, but Pentagram is going to be there for that kill. 2v2. Scrap and Vickle just keeping this bomb site defended. 1v1 gunfight. It's going to be Proto and Scrap. Proto with that sniper. He's got little time to work with. And Scrap, I think, gets the intel. One final push here for Proto. Scrap's just going to kind of line him up in the back of the head and put some bullets into him. So Ultra Academy making this map point.
Yeah, big rounds in the second half of the Search and Destroy for Toronto Academy. They are now on the cusp of winning this map out completely. Now, let's make a hot take here, Robert. Which site, off of what we've seen so far, do you think that whatever it takes is going to go for in order to best win this round?
Oh, come on. Let's make a desperation move. Let's just go B, man. Let's just rush B. Let's get the quick plant down. Let's see if they're going to be able to hold this bomb site. But it looks like they're completely deviating from what I said because Caster's Curse, definitely a thing. Even though you set me up for that one, but oh, look at Scrap. Looking mid-map, finding Zinx. Starting it strong here for Ultra Academy on the defensive side. Whatever it takes, kind of in shambles, a couple of kills, but it is 2v2, so it does even out. A bloodbath on top on Cat. Once again, Pentagram gonna rotate through. Brack's gonna find Scrap, so it's gonna be Hixie. Gonna try to win this map all by himself in a 1v2.
Do they rush A? Do they rush B? Both wrong. They rush mid, and they get some good kills on the statue because of it. I was praising Ultra Academy for their good mid holds, but that time it just wasn't there, and they were able to run right up through it and kill their entire setup in the back. So now, whatever it takes, able to push up into their spawn and around towards B. A lot on the shoulders of young Hixie here. Is going to be seeing one going away, but only succeeds in revealing himself. Pentagram, some good shots, but it's going to be, at the end of the day, whatever it takes, with a very outside-the-box round being effective for them.
Still alive here for whatever it takes, keeping themselves in this one with a very unorthodox play over on that mid-map. They did lose one to that first blood. It's definitely something that, you know, you got to know that there's a sniper on the other side. You know, Proto's had that sniper out this whole time. Or, I'm sorry, Scrap's had this sniper out this whole time. Definitely don't want to give away that position. You might be looking that way, but they ended up making up for it after evening up the score over on the catwalk. And we're able to rotate through and get that bomb over to B. So whatever it takes, keeping it up, and they're going to have defense. So they have a good chance here to send us to around 11.
This is a great prediction again from whatever it takes. Look at this from Pentagram. They're going to try and meet them up in the train station. These guys are showing absolute reckless abandon. Not afraid at all to push up into their opponent's spawns and always behind them once again. This good control is really paying off for them, but unfortunately it's going to be a 2v2 situation, and now Ultra Academy, because they don't have the mid control, are going to have to take a very long route through the back of the map. Brack, he's trying to get some intel on this mid map and see if they'll push up mid cut, but unfortunately for him, the long route has been taken. They're already at B, thinking they've already made their way even further than they have, and he's going to be getting shot right in the back by Mohawk. And so Hixie, once again, being very aggressive, sitting up in the spawn and laying in wait for Zinx.
Oh, and that timing, he just missed. Zinx jumped down, I think, from fire. Hixie still checking that P3 side. Look at this. Look at this timing here. Zinx gonna just sneak on through for free. Mohawk has no idea as his teammate didn't see him. So Zinx has a chance at this, actually. He's gonna look to the right corner, sliding on through. Can he get the kill? He does. 1v1. Got some time to play around. Hixie still waiting towards Sang, but he's just gonna push this. He's got the sub in hand. He's gonna look, but I think Zinx got a sight on him. And now the push comes through, but Hixie gonna win the gunfight. So Ultra Academy gonna take the Berlin S&D. What a comeback out of them.
Yeah, I was a little bit worried for them for a second. I thought that Hixie had maybe overplayed his hand, rotated a little bit too far away, and wasn't able to get a proper line of sight onto the objective after his teammate died. That's why he was scurrying back as much as possible with the MP40, and he is just able to get out of it with the W for his team. So very well played in the end by Toronto Ultra. They definitely seemed like they were in their opponent's heads, knew what they wanted to do a lot of the time, moved around a lot. With the exception of a couple of rounds, they seemed like they were thoroughly in strategic control over the map.
And I mean, that A site was just kind of the thing to get the most hit. I mean, it got the most attention out of both squads. It seemed like they were just kind of allergic to the B site, and we had a couple. Sorry, I just had somebody in my ear there for a second. But yeah, I mean, the Beast like I hit a couple of times, but really for the most part it was on rotation. So obviously A side still being heavily favored onto this map. A lot of vantage points, and you saw the snipers working out too. Proto and Scrap, the duel of the century between these two. But it seemed like Scrap had the upper hand for the most part. He found a lot of first bloods and he found a lot of plays to keep everybody back.
Yeah, and I want to give a shout out to Proto as well. For at least one of the rounds I can remember, he was making the push from Toronto Ultra very, very reserved. They weren't able to push too far up, even though it was just one guy, because as soon as he dropped the first one, they're like, all right, we'll chill on the stairs, we'll chill on the objective, and we won't push any further up than this. And so that really confines your space to a very certain area, and your opponents are going to know that and be able to come at you from a bunch of different sides. So in theory, he put his teammates in a very, very good situation by the ability to keep control over the spawn at the very least.
And it seemed like both of these teams definitely showed a lot of map awareness. Were able to get control of the right points at the right times, making sure that they had a lot of the long range kills. You saw the ARs come into play, but the subs definitely showed up when they needed to, especially when it got nice and scrappy. That catwalk is just completely covered in red. We saw so many group battles happen up at that point, and it was all just to get the maintain map position. It wasn't even for the A side a lot of the time. A lot of the time that resulted in a rotation over towards B. So a lot of just great map awareness, just getting certain spots and making sure that they had the space to make whatever move they were going to make.
Yes, and now we are going to be going into everybody's favorite control map, which is going to be Tuscan, as opposed to Kabuto. Really hate that map, and I'm really sick of getting it in rank, to be totally honest with you. I swear it's the only one I get. But
I'm with you.
Back on topic, Tuscan, it's a map that, from what I've just seen so far, Toronto Ultra Academy, they seem to have all the good makings of having a good control map. They just need to do the one thing that I said. It's not earlier about them translating the control that they get into time on the objective. They were able to get that a lot more towards the second half of the hard point, but we just got to make sure that's hammered in well enough to where they can do it early on enough in their attacks on the Tuscan control.
Definitely something to point out here too. Just kind of looking at some past statistics for these guys. I will say that Toronto does have a Tuscan control win, and it was actually over Bear Claw Esports. So definitely a team you want to have that win over. So gotta imagine that they're gonna be feeling pretty confident. And
that's no minor stat at all. But yeah,
no, I mean, hey, I mean, if you could take a chunk out of a team like that, that's definitely going to be something worth talking about.
And I've just gotten word in my ear as well that Bear Claw, we were just talking about them, are in the other match over 2-0 over Infamous Esports, aka 18 and Cracked. They were recently picked up by Infamous Esports, fun fact. But yeah, that's what's going on elsewhere. What's currently going on now is a little bit of a break here, ladies and gentlemen, because lobby issues, but either way, we'll be coming right back at you as soon as we got this Tuscan.
into it here. We're back into it here, Ultra Academy, whatever it takes. Time for Tuscan control. And before we kind of get into the thick of it here, we do want to let you know, 18 and Cracked starting to plant the seeds of a reverse sweep against Bear Claw. They took a 3-0 Gavitu control over Bear Claw Esports. So they're going to be moving on to map 4. But here, where we're currently looking at, it's going to be whatever it takes, starting to dominate here on this A side on defense.
Yeah, and Ultra Academy is taking the perspective of, oh, we lost on A, let's go over on B. Keep moving our opponents around. That's one school of thought, and I like to see that as being played out by Ultra Academy, because a lot of the times if you can do it well, it definitely does work out. You've gotten Scrap really far up, but unfortunately he's going to be getting fried by Proto. You still got a lot of people in advanced positions, but you got to make some good moves with it sooner rather than later, because that time is still a ticket.
Time is still a ticking indeed, but speaking of ticks, this first tick starting to go up here just a little bit. But it was going to get ultimately taken down here from whatever it takes. Going to just try to clear it out, but now over to A. It's going to be a contest here. A couple of players for Ultra Academy. It's been Mohawk and Hixie. They'll be looking for a gun battle, and they're going to get one, and they're not going to win it either. Mohawk going to back himself up now. He knows someone's there. He's going to find Proto, so it's going to be 2 kills here for Mohawk. And Brack's going to be able to come in from behind. He's going to get 6-0, and he's going to get a frustrate that he's ultimately not going to use anyway. But so far, it's going to be a Lies advantage here for whatever it takes. They're up by 9.
Yeah, from what I can tell for Ultra Academy right now, Robert, it's been because they tried to do too many things at once, they seem to be not of one mind right now. And because of that, all these different pushes to different places, they've left a lot of the map wide open, and they've always found themselves in difficult situations where they're basically outnumbered and in a disadvantageous position gunfight-wise. So it seems like a real focusing needs to be had by Toronto Ultra and where they make these pushes. Otherwise, they will, again, leave themselves open for a counterattack from Brack in the back.
Ultra Academy will get this 8 point, buy themselves some time. They got 1:30, down about 7 lives. Brack is just not letting anything happen. He's currently sitting at A1, gets another 2-piece. He's been waiting up top to find Vickle as well. Finally getting taken down there by Hixie. So now all eyes over to B. Whatever it takes are going to be perfectly set up. They're just going to kind of wait this one out, wait for Toronto to get to them, and Zink going to start the party with that kill. Proto going to get called out, so a couple of kills for Ultra Academy as they decide to push on through. Going to look for Pentagram on top of Pentagram. Going to win that major gunfight. Going to look for a third. Can't quite find it. So kind of a failed attempt here for Ultra Academy. They have one final desperation play to make. Brack is just still lighting them up here in the back. No respawn. Ultra Academy down by 9 once again on the heels of Brack, who currently sits at 11-2.
Oh, those kills were so pivotal for them. They put them down to a position where they can literally do no wrong. Otherwise, they will be losing this one. I mean, the takes on A were pretty good, but from what I've seen so far, whatever it takes, it wouldn't surprise me if they were able to get 1 tick. So as long as they go with how I predict they're going to go, Ultra Academy will probably be going down. Although this is a good push for Ultra Academy around the back. They do get 1. But unfortunately, they lose everything after that. Mohawk is going to be getting another one, but he's still in a 1v10 situation. I don't predict a phase situation coming on here, Robert.
Nah, I don't think it's going to happen. 13 seconds on the clock. He's going to kind of tap the point, so it's going to be a +10 here for whatever it takes. Here in this first round, just playing absolute clinical. But I think you're right, though. I think it wasn't even as much about whatever it takes his play as more as it was Ultra Academies. They seem like, as you said, it didn't really have a collective agreement on what they wanted to do. They kind of just kept split pushing, solo chowing, and I think it ultimately cost them at the end of the round. Yeah,
and I mean, playing like that, it is a viable strategy by all means, but you have to communicate it very well, and it's not an easy thing to do by any means. If you're just like, oh, let's go B, and all your players are still on respawn, you just send 2 players there, and you only really need 2 people coming back from the other side, and whatever it takes, they were pretty much able to not have to move around a whole lot, and that was the major kicker for them, is that they didn't even, is that the main point of the strategy is to move your opponents around, and they did not have to do that.
Putting up strong forward, taking the A side once again, but this time on the offensive side of things. Look at Pentagram starting to fry inside of that church. Gonna find 2. He's kind of playing ring around the rosy here with Scrap, and he does end up finding that third. Gonna be 2 ticks here for the A side here for whatever it takes. As Toronto Ultra just gonna immediately abandon this one, start to push on back and kind of group up in the church, say a prayer before they go over to this B site.
Yeah, Ultra Academy basically living on a prayer right now as they instantly lose control over A. They're down manpower-wise. They're down time-wise. It's basically going to be a fight to the finish, and they've already lost control over their spawn. Proto getting in a key position for a cutoff. Look at this for Proto. He's in such a good position. He's getting right up on these stairs again. He's got 2 to deal with, though, Proto, but he's He is going to catch one.
No
and another one in the
way.
back. Proto going huge again. That's a full wipe up against Ultra Academy. And just like that, whatever it takes, we're going to take this
No way. Proto making MVP caliber plays as the hill was stacked. He's going to get 2 ticks. Zink's going to be in a prime position, try to get a couple. Brack, who else but Brack finding 2 again. Going to hop on this point. Not going to find Vickle underneath his feet. Now Vickle going to try to maintain composure on the inside of the hill. And is going to ultimately be able to push out through. But 2 ticks were already grabbed for whatever it takes. Up 7 here in this round. They have a lot of time to work with. One more clear out. And this round is good as theirs.
Yeah, all they really need is one more good push, and they've got plenty of time, plenty of lives to do it. Ultra Academy, they're pretty much static as it gets. They're in some good positions, mind you, but it's one bad thing happens, and it will all fall apart. And goes Pentagram again, does get a solid kill onto Vickle, but it's going to be traded out. Floodgates, I'm predicting, are probably going to be opened here, but now whatever it takes, they seem to be pushing a little bit back now, trying to hold their position because they know that a push now would just be giving up map control.
Trying to maintain some steady lines of kills, which they have for right now, but might be disrupted quickly here with Pentagram. But I think he's going to get spotted here by Vickle, who's going to try to chase him out of there. But they're just going to just miss each other. And Pentagram is going to wait for the reinforcements to come on through. And now, another push, 50 seconds on the clock. Try to maintain and get this B sights. So they got to find these first bloods. And Mohawk's just not going to let that happen. He finds a quick kill. Playing nice and slow here is whatever it takes. They're starting to lose track of the time, though. They're going to have to get in there pretty soon. I know they only have 1 tick, but they got to get these first bloods. They got to get these kills, and they got to hop on in.
Losing track of the time, losing track of the lives, and in they go. Looking for the final push, but in for the contest is going to be Ultra Academy. A momentary fix to a massive, massive issue. But Brack is coming up on the plat now. No one's covering it, except for on the stairs. You got Scrap, 16 health. He's going to get slid on here as well, but does manage to evade Proto for the minute, but Proto does eventually manage to take him down. It's on Vickle. He gets 1, sliding around the corner, looking for the second, and he fries Zinks as well. So that's a very last-ditch effort hold from Ultra Academy.
One more push here for whatever it takes. They got 20 seconds on the clock. They do have lives advantage, but at this point, it doesn't matter. They are running out of time and resources here. Pentagram going to try to get aggressive, but Mohawk does spot him. 10 seconds. One final push. Nades and bullets flying everywhere. Brack is going to find 1. Here come the kills. That 3 down for Toronto Ultra. They're going to be able to break on through. It's going to be all up to Scrap, but the stack goes down. Scrap trying to hold this down and get this kill. Is he going to be able to find it? He cannot. Brack and Pentagram going big. No response for Toronto. 9-2, 5 seconds. Still maintain presence on that point. And Zig's getting that final kill. The patience paying off for whatever it takes. They're up 2-0.
Yeah, whatever it takes, man. They do it in order to win that round right there. So many attempts, and they got just their ability to get control over A so much. If they weren't able to get it pretty much instantaneously, that would have been a much harder round to win, because by that point, they would have obviously ran out of time with 5 seconds remaining. So it would definitely behoove Ultra to try and hold on to A just a little bit longer. Obviously, easier said than done, but yeah, you just can't be letting your opponents steamroll you like that so early on, and then and also not have control over B. That was just the major thing, is that not only did they get control over A, but they had Proto put right up into their spawn instantly as well.
Toronto hop into this 8 point and get aggressive themselves, and they are going to find those first couple of kills, and that's going to be a first tick there for Toronto on the A side, and they're not done. They're just going to push on through. They're out for blood. They are pissed at this point. Up, down 2-0. They want to get these kills. Whatever it takes. Just going to kind of play it nice and patient and get the kills they need to tactically. Now Mohawk's going to kind of go here and just kind of push on up. Look at these kills Ultra Academy are getting on the attacking side. Scrap with the pistol, almost making a nice play there over towards that ramp side, but it's ultimately going to get taken down. So you see Ultra Academy get kind of scattered once again. But the A side basically completely given up here by whatever it takes early.
Yeah, Robert, I was actually looking at that too. This is really interesting. Whatever it takes, they've completely given up on A, but Ultra Academy are not getting on for any time whatsoever. They're just still trying to push into B, and whatever it takes, they're content to keep on letting them push in at them, because they know at the end of the day, the B is the prize. And all this time ticking away, Ultra Academy are finally going to have to push on, but it's left holes in the defense for Brack once again to catch him in the trap, coming around the back, looking for the final player over on the Alpha objective. And it looks like he's going to be able to find him just in time, so this A tick still not being gained by Ultra Academy.
And this minimap is weird looking. They are all over the place. Both squads just basically hunting each other right now. Time just doesn't matter. And I think Ultra finally deciding that it does. Hop on this 8 point and ultimately get it. Whatever it takes, I don't think are even remotely bothered by the fact that they lost this point. They're up 2 lives, and they've had massive live advantages throughout the first 2 rounds. So at this point, they just know they're going to win these gun battles.
Yeah, time is just a concept in the minds of Ultra Academy, as they do finally decide to get control over A, which they could have done at least 30 seconds ago. But either way, I do admire their attempt to try and go and get some B control, because as soon as you get A, lock down D on B. So I don't totally blame them for it. It's something that they were trying to avoid at all costs, but it's still something that's going to be happening anyway, because whatever it takes, they know what they got to be doing in the end. Even at the expense of A, you got to hold on to B.
Whatever it takes, being aware of the spawns there. The Ultra Academy are still continuing to push through that P5 side, and Pentagram is going to be ready stunned, not finding their mark, but Pentagram is going to find his mark there onto Mohawk. Is going to be able to keep Toronto at bay, but look at this push now. It's going to be going to the ramp, but they could be able to win this one. Zing says no as he finds 2. Pentagram going to push up and find his final kill, but a quick, clean 4 dead there for Toronto Ultra. They're running out of time. They're down on lives. They only have 1 more push.
Yeah, it's going to be stunted already by Pentagram. Louis running up onto the rooftops. He's going to be taken down too. This push is just going to have to be one that goes another day, or even in another map attempt, because, yeah, this is over. Over as it gets. Pentagram knows this, and he's just going to be calling it his final streak just so he can say he used it.
Oh boy, Toronto Ultra backed up against the wall, whatever it takes. Just going to dust off their hands real quick. They're going to make this a quick 3-0 and take a series lead here 2-1.
Yep, whatever it takes. Now 2-1 over their opponents, going back into some Berlin hardpoint. But yeah, we saw just how well the hardpoint went for them the last time. It's a very similar map, Gavudu and Berlin, from the aspect of you have to make good rotations, otherwise you're going to be in some bad shape. But we've also seen something from Toronto Ultra Academy rearing its ugly head again, and that is, even though they get good control, they don't capitalize on it by getting the objective in their favor. They try to get a little bit too much going their way before they're content to get the hill time in the case of hardpoint and get the A objective in the case of the control that we just watched.
And you know, you're talking about the objective a little bit, and it seemed like how Toronto was kind of abandoning it. And I want to draw your attention to the screenshot that we just got of the stats from that game, and I think you can quickly see kind of what's going on between these two squads. You see whatever it takes. 3 of them dropping 20s, with Pentagram going 28 and 14 with 18 untraded kills, just not being touched on this, man. Meanwhile, Ultra Academy, the highest kill count that was by Hexy, 16 and 27. Whatever it takes, just realize that their gun power was just going to be so much better on this map, and just started hunting and just ultimately winning in the slaying department. And Ultra Academy tried to answer back, but ultimately just came up short.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of that can also be explained by the fact that Ultra Academy, they knew that whatever it takes tries to push up in these solo efforts and try and get good flanks on them. And so they were trying to catch them in these push-ups, but they weren't quite able to do that. And they just ended up giving themselves to their opponent in a 1v1 situation pretty much every time. And when they weren't expecting it, that also led to kills. So a lot of the kills just came from the fact that whatever it takes, they were patient when it mattered on their solo pushes, and just aggressive as they needed to be on their solo pushes as well. And in both cases, it was advantageous for them.
For whatever it takes, it's got to be good to be able to trust your gun enough to be able to handle those solo chows and just win most of them. I mean, there was a lot, and even on team pushes too, like we were kind of getting on them for their patience on that second round on offense, where they were just kind of ticking down the time, not really doing anything. But look what happened as soon as they jumped down and got into it. As soon as they got into it, it was over. They jumped down, got a quick 3, looking for one more. They got them and just stacked the point and were able to get the dub. I mean, it just, they knew at that point what they needed to do. They played nice and patient. They were okay with losing some lives and getting killed out. They were right back into it, man. They didn't need to put all the pressure on the Toronto. Toronto just did that to themselves at that point.
Oh yeah, and by no means was I trying to criticize whatever it takes in that stunted push, like the slow push. As soon as they lost 2 players, it is very smart for them to try and hold back inside of plat and all that stuff to make sure that they don't lose all of their map control with a full team wipe, because they knew that Ultra Academy probably going to smell blood in the water and they were going to try and push them, which is exactly what happened. So whatever it takes, just trying to make sure that they don't lose total map control off of one bad push and then have it end up losing them the game, which if they did, then time-wise, looking back at it retrospectively, it probably would have. So again, right calls in all the right places for whatever it takes.
Just nice and disciplined this team seems to be. I mean, they seem to be, you know, we saw on the first hard point, as we might see here on this Berlin hard point as well, a lot of the rotations they were doing, a lot of the calculated decisions and power positions that they were holding, not really letting themselves really get themselves into any trouble. I mean, and whenever they did, they were able to bail themselves out, whether through patient pushing or they're just kind of winning the gun battles when they needed to. You can see all the fundamentals there for whatever it takes, and they're just kind of letting Ultra get the best of themselves in a way.
Yeah, sometimes Ultra definitely have been their own worst enemies, but either way, they still are in this with a chance. They won the search and destroy, so obviously if they are able to get through this and make the adjustments that we outlined earlier, and obviously just win their 1v1s, but yeah, they totally have a chance going into the search and destroy. They seem to be a team that definitely uses their head a lot, but sometimes they use their head a little bit too much in the hard points and stuff like that. Like I said, they're trying to get total control when they could definitely use the control that they have to get a lot of time. But yeah, that head games definitely comes into play in the search and destroy. So if they can get past this Berlin, then I think their chances go up tremendously.
So let's talk about that Berlin for a second. I mean, obviously we saw Ultra take the search here onto Berlin, but we definitely saw some, great plays out of whatever it takes on that site too. But given that they were able to take the first hard point, do you think the favor goes in favor of whatever it takes as they continue their momentum and have the series lead? Or do you think Ultra Academy are able to pull this one out given that they have a dub on this map already?
That's tough, man. I mean, I don't think this search and destroy is going to have too much to do with this map because it's obviously plays a lot different. Like what I'm saying here is that as long as Toronto Ultra can be a little bit more greedy with the time they get as opposed to greedy with their positioning, that is going to be the main thing on this map. Obviously you need to get good positioning, but in order to do good on this map. But what I'm saying is that I've already said it, but anyways, Ultra Academy, they do definitely have a good shot at winning this map. They've shown their ability to get good rotations, but the problem is, again, they're not able to capitalize on their positioning. But yeah, Ultra Academy, if they do get past this, I'm really curious to see if they can win this map on good old Bocage, because they looked good in the search and destroy, but in a lot more close quarters situations, I'm a little bit worried about their sub play when it comes to their opponents. Because let's talk about the subs for a second here, Robert. They for the side at least of whatever it takes, they've definitely seemed to have a little bit better at least sub prowess.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree that whenever the battles get nice and scrappy, especially with the subs getting involved, I think whatever it takes seems to win most of them. So when you see a lot of these inside hills, right? So P1 right away, I mean, going right into that spot, like that's immediately going to be a scrappy hill that I think whatever it takes have a decent chance to get. And then even over towards P2 and P3, I think those are all hills that whatever it takes can really use to rack up the points quickly. When you start getting to the more open hills, I would argue that maybe Toronto might have some good AR prowess about them to try to counter it right back, but they are going to have to kind of change it up. They cannot let those first three hills be what decides the map for them. They're going to have to kind of get into the thick of it and win the battles that they need to. They need to go right back into the face of whatever it takes if they want to take this map.
Yeah, and that is a good point to bring up is the ARs, because on this map, the subs are only as good as the positions the ARs can get for them. A lot of times to get to these objectives, you have to run right out in the middle of the open in positions that favor the ARs. So in order for the good subs to go off for the side of whatever it takes, we're definitely going to need to see some good counter AR shells up against the good AR presence that we've seen from this side of Toronto Ultra so far. So both teams definitely have things going their way this round, but slight edge, I would say. Given a hot take, I would have to give it to the side of whatever it takes.
No, I think I'll join you. I wish I could say like I have Toronto Academy, but I truthfully think whatever it takes, have all the right tools for this map in order to bring it back and take home this series. I definitely think, like you said, their sub prowess is definitely going to be the big thing, even though this map definitely a lot more bigger, bigger, more spacious, has a lot of open points for Toronto to take advantage of with those ARs. I definitely think when it comes to the inside battles of the point, I think whatever it takes are just going to be right there for Toronto. They're going to meet him halfway, and they're going to put him in the grave for it.
Yeah, and on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we are still waiting on one player to hop on into the lobby. So in order to not talk your ear off any longer, we are going to go to a quick break, and we'll be right back in it as soon as we're in with this Berlin hardpoint. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Whatever It Takes versus Toronto Ultra for the CDL Challengers Elite Series NA. We are in a fight between these teams for survival, and I am joined by Robert Morrison III.
Thanks for having me, Kyle, and we're right back into it. Map 4 here in this great series against Whatever It Takes in Toronto Ultra Academy. Whatever It Takes up 2-1 going into this map, but it doesn't look like it based on the scoreboard right now.
Yeah, like, Whatever It Takes, if you remember the Gavudu, they came out pretty strong and they got a lot of the hill time off of it, but now it's looking like the roles have really switched. It's Toronto Ultra Academy that are now basically getting a perfect hill off of P1. But then again, Whatever It Takes, looking to make a good rotation. They've already got basically a full setup here, but still plenty of time to make the easy rotate here. Is Ultra Academy.
Ultra Academy going to get a nice strong start. Whatever It Takes finally getting on the board. Over to P2. They had the rotation. Are going to get a few kills to kick this off. He's going to hold steadfast, but look at the pinch coming in from Ultra. He's going to be able to find who? Brack and Proto going to find two. Brack going to find a second one as Hexy goes down as well. So Whatever It Takes, like we talked about before we got into this map, winning a lot of the scrappier battles inside the close quarters of this P2. And they're going to play their lives on this one. Zinx on the outside, though, going to clean up the trash. So it's going to be Whatever It Takes. Getting back on the board at the moment. Ultra Academy, got to find a way to break in.
And you do really have to be careful with this push for Toronto Ultra. It's very late in the game, and look at this Pentagram already making a rotation. You've got Mohawk trying to keep it on lockdown. Ooh, he's getting really hurt, trying to pre-fire him, but the help is there for him. Hixie didn't go too far away in order to get some help, and with this little time remaining, they are going to be looking to set this one up for a hold onto P3, which is a lot easier said than done in my experience, Robert.
Oh, I can 100% agree with you there. I mean, you never know. One kill can all of a sudden just flip the spawns, and all of a sudden the opposite team just has dock spawns for whatever reason. This hill is insanely tedious. But right now, Whatever It Takes, going to be want to go over on the P1 side, going to try to flank on through fire. There's Mohawk on the outside, going to find a couple. He's trying to maintain these spawns here. Doesn't want to quite lose them here for Ultra Academy. Going to try to one in. It's going to be a bloodbath on the inside. Whatever It Takes, going to find a clean forest. And Mohawk going to try to find one. He does. He's going to be on a 5-3 there. He's got the reinforcements as the spawns were held. So Mohawk going to fire over towards the front as the contest still takes place. Toronto Ultra going to get the retake with 15 seconds left onto this point. So now it's rotation season to go over to P4.
Yeah, and just like that, we see Whatever It Takes getting another good rotation into another deceptively hard objective to hold. We've got Pentagram making sure that they don't try and flip him out of spawns so quickly, and he is going to get instantly taken down by Hixie with the sub. We should be probably talking a little bit more about how Hixie is doing a nice job with the sub, despite the fact that we were originally putting the spotlight onto Whatever It Takes for that aspect of the game. But we've also got Vickle coming around the back, and he's instantly going to get taken down. So overall, Whatever It Takes, holding this objective very strong and very forward positions.
Staying close, making sure it doesn't get away from them early. They're going to hold on tight. They're going to get the setup down. So it's going to be now down to Ultra to push in through this train station, buy a ticket, and get themselves in there. A couple of kills to start it off. They opened up a lane. They're going to go around the outside. Don't have spawns quite yet, but pushing into that side train is Brack. Tries to clear out this mid-map at the very least. It's going to be a 1v1 in the back of this train. It's going to be Hixie and Zinx to look for each other, but now the reinforcements starting to spawn on in as Ultra still spawning on train side. All eyes to P5. No one has rotation quite yet.
Yeah, that was a good kill for Vickle to get, because in that position, Whatever It Takes would have been able to hold down the objective very well, deny them the time, and probably get a good little bit of it for themselves. But now it's a little bit more 50-50. Now we see Whatever It Takes just making sure at whatever cost their opponents cannot get onto the objective from that side of the map, thinking that they're spawning more towards that side, which, granted, they are a little bit, but they're instead deciding to go all the way back over towards the opposite side and chow them there.
Back and forth, pinstriped kill feed here on this P5. It's Nixie's Hill on this map. And you can definitely see why, as everyone just as soon as they set a toe on the inside of that point, immediately getting taken out. So it's anybody's game at the moment. The game just about tied. So now it's going to be all eyes to P1. 17 seconds left on to the P5. A couple of kills here for Whatever It Takes should get them the rest of this scrap, as now Ultra Academy head over to that catwalk side and start to push on through. But Proto, he's going to be winning.
Yeah, something to notice about Ultra Academy is their playstyle is completely switched from the last hardpoint. Usually they've been very good at getting these rotations early on, even sometimes to their detriment, but this time most of the rotations have gone in the favor of whatever it takes. They've rotated to this objective first. Granted, they lost it. They rotated to P2 first, P4, and so on. So from the rotational aspect, whatever it takes definitely has the making of coming back into this game in the short term.
They definitely do. They're going to push through the one final time. 37 seconds on this far point. They're going to try to push on through, but they're just not getting the kills right now. They're not winning these initial gunfights, something we are not used to seeing out of this team. The Ultra Academy is going to make the quick retake as 3 go down, so whatever it takes, forced to start moving over to the P2 once again with 22 left. And they're not even going to win that rotation either. It looks like it's going to be Vickle out on street. He's going to win that 1v1. But whatever it takes, actually do get the close spawn, so they are going to be able to flood on through. Should be able to at least make some noise on the inside, but whether or not they're going to be able to do something with it is definitely up for debate.
However this game ends up going, this is a vast improvement from Toronto Ultra, and they should definitely be much more proud with how they're playing this one. Not only do they have the lead, but they're playing things a lot more evenly. They're not oversending things for the rotations and not getting a lot of hill time. Instead, they are pretty much going at things pretty even-handedly. They got the spawns now, and now they, with all their players up and able to get a solid entry frag, they can definitely break this hill.
Everything's going to get there, but Ultra just gonna, I mean, they're making it look easy. I mean, they're just hopping in and just getting the gunnies down in order to break these hills. So now they're going to hop on the time once again to try to get themselves an extended lead here. But whatever it takes, going to try to make some noise in the street, but it's going to get shut down right away by Pickle, who does find 2. Now Mohawk going to get into a gunfight, but Pentagram with the bunny. Going to be able to find 2 on the inside and get the point at least for a short while before once again Ultra just grab it right back. So now over to P3, and it's going to be whatever it takes. We're going to be set up over towards street.
Yeah, Zink's in a really good position inside of Fire. It's going to be pretty difficult for anybody from Ultra Academy to push up with him there. But Brack getting really up close and personal does leave the spawns wide open for the taking. And they are going to be flipping them out instantaneously. All that setup. And they're going to be losing the spawns already. Granted, they can definitely get a good spawn trap on them if they can realize this quickly enough. But it doesn't look like they have. And now Ultra Academy are able to get a solid push off before they get into position.
Whatever it takes, keeping it alive. Gonna keep the spawns for now. They're gonna try to go for one final big push, but that's not gonna be good when you lose your first guy Mohawk on the outside. Make it 3. Ultra falling at the seams as whatever it takes. Now we're gonna look to get the first lead of this map as they finally start to pick it back up in the slaying department. You see Pentagram, who is drastically improved from the start of this map, definitely helping with that cause.
An attempt from both teams to get these rotations, but so far Brax is going to be somewhat superior, and Pentagram holding both ends of the map. These players, they are going to win both their individual 1v1s, and Ultra Academy are going to have a long trek to make a chow onto this objective.
A long way to go. They better get on the running sheet they're going to have to get into it real quickly here. They're going to have to get all the way across the map, whatever it takes. Losing spawns as well, but Pentagram is still going to be there as you see Ultra spawning all the way deep warehouse. There's going to be a blood battle here in the front. Who's going to win it? It's going to be whatever it takes. We now have the numbers over towards the front, but for how long? As Ultra Academy get the close spawns with that hold there from Hixie towards the back. So Pentagram, realizing this situation, is just going to kind of hang tight, wait for the rest of the team to get to him, but he's going to get pushed out right away. Not a lot of time gained on this hill, but it is going to be Ultra Academy who are ultimately going to probably get this scrap.
Not a lot of time generally, but it's big time that's being gained here by Toronto Ultra. Going into the most scrappy hill, they're going to be making things basically even, where if it had gone the other way, whatever it takes was definitely looking in favor going into the second rotation in P1. They could definitely afford to throttle their opponents a little bit harder when it comes to positioning, more so than they are now. Literally tied. So all these chows that they're going to make at P5 are going to be potentially hardcore punished.
This is a big hill, and if you're whatever it takes, you're kind of scared a little bit because you know how easily this goes back and forth. You want to try to regain your lead quickly, and it looks like it's exactly what they're going to do. They're able to get at least 10 seconds and able to get onto this point, winning a couple of the gunfights in the process and playing their lives as well as they getting cleared out. So now the ball back in Toronto's court to try to make a play onto this hill. But again, the kills come on through, and here for Toronto right now, you want to make sure you don't lose that backside because you're going to be going to P1 next.
Yeah, just as I said, these challenges are big risk, big reward, and Ultra Academy able to get a lot of time off this. They're forcing Proto to focus on the current objective where he can do some impact close to the next objective. You got Pentagram trying to do that right now. This is a big opportunity for Pentagram. Enemies are setting up. If he can make sure sure that, oh, he can't. He just instantly gets taken down by Vickle. And just like that, Ultra Academy have a very key rotation set up.
Oh, man, there is about to be violence inside of this P1. Zink's going to start it off with 2 of his own. Now he's got the rest of the numbers coming on in. The Scrap going to defend it with his life. He finds 2. Pentagram finds a 3rd. Scrap still holding on, but Pentagram going to clear away and able to hop into this point. But Hinksy feels like he wants a piece of him, but he's not going to get it. Pentagram going to hold tight. A couple of trades, keep it in whatever it takes hands. And they're looking to take this home. Ultra Academy have to be careful here. They don't want to completely lose track of this. They're going to have to keep this pressuring in from the front. And they actually might have a chance here as they're pushing whatever it takes further and further back into the train station.
Yes, and with that final kill, it's going to be tough. Scrap all up by his lone, so then Pentagram in an advanced position. He's going to do a little bit of damage and then instantly go for the cutoff. They can, I think they're actually 1 second off of winning it right here, unless I'm mistaken, so they will have to get this rotation, and Brack is going to be the man with the plan to try and do it up against Hinksy. He wins that battle, so now it's him up against Mohawk. This time is pretty much inconsequential, because look at this, going to next, Brack winning all these gunfights. This is the final nail in the coffin for Ultra Academy tonight. Whatever it takes, keeping their chance alive in the Elite Series for the playoffs.
An absolute must-needed win there for whatever it takes, looking to get into the playoffs. Ultra Academy going to have to probably go back to the lab after that one. Just going to have to win this next match to try to put themselves back in contention. But what a great comeback there from whatever it takes. Ultra Academy had him on lock and key throughout the first, I would say, probably 2/3 of that map, but then a good string of hills that whatever it takes were able to take control of ultimately led to the victory here tonight.
Yeah, it really could have gone either way on that final P1, but the fact that whatever it takes was able to kill all of them pretty much instantaneously, those 2 opening kills from Zinx pretty much set the ball rolling for the rest of his team to just go on the objective. They smelled blood, and they ate them up for dinner, breakfast, lunch, everything. Every meal of the day, there's enough to go around. But yeah, it's those kills really opened things up to where they could push into the objective, and their opponents were in a position where they're like, oh crap, we have to keep on throwing our lives at the objective, otherwise we are just going to lose. So they also got them into a position where they have to keep on shelling it out. They're never able to really get a real concerted effort into the objective. So it was a really good take for whatever it takes to have.
So whatever it takes, we'll move on to their next match nice and happy. You're going to take this one 3-1 against Ultra Academy. We are waiting for a few more matches to finish up here tonight, but we are not done. Oh, no, we have more action coming your way here tonight. Coming up next, we got Stallions at 18 and cracked. I think Stallions are actually still in the middle of their match. I believe they're down 2-1 at the moment, so we're going to wait for them and see what happens. But I think we will be taking a quick break, so definitely stay tuned. We got more challenges action headed your way. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and others. We have more challengers action coming your way. Up next, we got the Stallions. Shout out to Zoo Mafia up against 18 and Cracked or Infamous. But Kyle, we were talking while the stream was during a break, and it gets interesting at this point, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does because we're at a point where Stallion's chances for actually qualifying are very slim, but possible. And it all starts with winning this one right here, right now, up against 18 and Cracked, who are currently in third place, where Stallions are currently in seventh place in the group right now. So if all these things that I'm about to say go to the way of Stallions, they can still qualify. First thing they need to do is win this game, as well as their follow-up game up against whatever their next game is. They need to win that one as well. Second one, they need UYU to take third, and along with that, that basically means they need 18 and Cracks to not only lose this game, but their next game up against Ultra Academy, which a little bit unlikely. And then lastly, they need Strike X to lose their final two games up against UYU and Texas, which is the most possible out of all of them so far. But getting real quick into this, we're going to be going into some Bocage hardpoint to get things going here, Robert.
Bocage Hardpoint, what better way to get it started other than the firework of a map that is Bocage Hardpoint? I apologize to our lovely observer, Fatty, what he's going to have to go through on this map, as he always does, but he's a trooper and he's going to take care of us. So that's what I believe. So hope you guys are, oh man, we just got robbed. Oh no, the game lobby is closed. All right, we're going to try to get that back up and running for you guys as quickly as possible. But I mean, kind of going back to what we were talking about there, Kyle, I mean, just a lovely set of circumstances need to fall into place for the Stallions to have a chance.
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of them are more likely to happen than others. Like, I think the hardest one is going to be 18 and Cracked, not only losing this one, but then going up to lose against Toronto Ultra Academy, which has been on a little bit of a rough patch, we'll say. But either way, it's still possible, and there's still things they can do within their power to do it, and that's winning this game right now. And let's take a quick look at what these maps are going to be for this game they have up against 18 and Cracked.
Yeah, let's take a look. I mean, obviously, as we were kind of talking about beforehand, is going to be Bocage Hardpoint to kick us off. And I actually have to pull up the stats here for a hot second. But I mean, as you can expect, that map is always going to be a coin flip between either team. So it's just going to be about who's going to be the better gunny and just try to get as much as they possibly can and squeeze every little last second off of each of these points. But after that, we do have a Tuscan Search, head your way. And then your favorite map, as we talked about before, Kyle, Gavitu back to back for game 3 and then game 4 if necessary. And then ending it off with Berlin. So quite an interesting map set for these two teams.
Yeah, really could end up being an interesting one. I'm really curious to see how they do on Gavudu because after all my plays and ranked, is pretty much always on Gavudu control. So I have some very intimate knowledge of that map in particular. But either way, this Bocage, it's really going to come down to who can like stay alive as a clump a little bit more. I like to call them death balls. Like that's you're like clumped up as a team. It's like a ball of death. You get too close to it, you die. It's basically that. And who can keep those death balls alive, go into each of these individual spots. Because the map is so small, it's dying is not too necessarily big of a deal unless a lot of you die at once. Then it becomes a really big deal. So that pretty much boils it down to a couple of things that could happen on this map, which is if you push in too hard for P3 too late in the hill, you could lose P4. And also the rotation P5 is also something that you need to look at. But the rest of the map is just gunfights and can go any way you want it
to. Hey, God, would you believe me if I told you that none of these teams have gotten into Bocage Hardpoint so far, according to our stat sheet?
I'm surprised from the standpoint of I've always casted a Bocage Hardpoint in every series, but I'm not surprised because I'm sure they hate this map by now.
Oh yeah, no, most teams I know, even the pros just can't stand doing this. But you know what? I always looked at it as it's a good warm up map. That's all it is. It's a good warm up map. I mean, yeah, try to win, obviously, but if anything, get your thumbs moving. Even though I'm sure for most of these guys, they're about to fall off at this point. So it looks like we are going to be loading right back on in, so you guys will be able to catch all the action right here, right now. We're happy you guys are joining us here tonight for some more challengers action. It's been very interesting so far. Like we said, we started off the night talking about how the bottom 8 just gets super mixy. And that's definitely proven right here as we go into this matchup with Stallions and 18 and Cracked.
Yes, and we are about to get in there right here, right now, ladies and gentlemen. Stallions and 18 and Cracked about to be going at it on a Bocage. So at the very least, they'll get their engagements in. They'll be nice and warm going into the Tuscan Search and Destroy, which we'll get to that in a little bit. But prefacing it, Stallions basically a 50-50 in Search and Destroy, and 18 and Cracked. They are really good in that mode, so I am slightly favoring 18 and Cracked. So, Stallions, best chance to get off the blocks going fast.
Start quick here. They're going to go on through that river side. The B2 side. Going to try to break onto the barn. Going to find one kill, but they are going to find two. So they are going to get that initial break. Now they got to clear out Zig, where you see two players for 18 and Cracked just currently standing by. But Assault going to find those two. But Stallions will hop onto that point first. But we know about this hill. That's going to change in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, and Ulysses pushing up really far, trying to get a route on their opponents, but at the same time, Shawnee's doing that. Stallions are trying very hard to hold on to these P2 spawns, but it's actually going pretty dang good, and all the while, Ulysses able to eat up a pretty sizable amount of hill time, considering how mixy Hill 1 usually is. So that's not a bad amount of hill time to get for Stallions. It's an added bonus to the spawns they find themselves with.
So now 18 and Cracked going to take over for now, but Stallions holding onto these P2 spawns. They should be able to get them set up here. You see Kaiser by onto the point, and Cryptic going to be doing that work up top Barn. He's just going to kind of wait as Barn control in heavy favor of the Stallions, but keep an eye on number 8 on your minimap. It's going to be Exceed here for 18 and Cracked, going to be on the flank, but he's going to get caught as Yuli's going to catch him in the back, and Turo continuing to do that work inside of Barn. So Shawnee finally cleans him out, but a good strong hold to start off this P2 here for the Stallions.
Stallions looking basically unbreakable here, like diamonds on the objective, but Assault is going to be finally getting on and doing some damage in a position that's really hard to counter-chow unless you have control over the barn here, which is exactly where 18 and Cracked are putting a lot of their manpower. It's like they know what they're doing here, ladies and gentlemen, but at the same time, they do eventually get taken off of it by, I think, like, just a good angle that they got onto him. Probably peeked out a little bit too much, but either way, this is some good contest time for 18 and Cracked, especially considering that they have a good rotation in next, or they would if they didn't all die, and now 2Real is able to get in a really advanced position and break this.
2Real's going to be up top. If you're looking for Exceed, going to fool him. Shawnee going to get the call out. 2Real's going to wait up top as it's still going to be spawned here for 18 and Cracked, but they are spawning over towards that tower side. So Stallions are going to have a good fight at this, but they're going to have to get some kills, which they're just not doing at the moment. 18 and Cracked going to hop on in. I think Stallions might actually get ones. No, they don't. I thought they had it for a hot second as Cryptic was waiting on the outside, but they ultimately weren't able to do it. But he does pick up 2 in the process. So Stallions still working towards these spawns. But they're going to need to push on through, and it looks like they're going to be able to do so.
Now, that was pretty devastating for Cryptic. It was basically making so that 18 and Cracked can't get a full setup to deal with the 4 players that are eventually going to be barreling down at them. Only 2 people on the objective for 18 and Cracked. But I mean, with those 2 players, they do a pretty exceedingly good job in the form of Classic and Exceed. But yeah, now able to flip it the other side. This is one of the things I was outlining early on, and one of the things you have to watch on this map, is that if you push in too hard at the end of a P3, you can find yourself getting set up on P4 and losing those spawns if you die.
There's Stallions credit. They've been going toe-to-toe here with 18 and Cracked, one of the better teams here in the Elite Series. Stallions definitely need to put in their aggression right back in their own faces, but now they're going to have to just win these rotations, and I think they're going to make this nice and competitive. They're going to go through the P2 side now, try to make a play. Exceed going to be waiting for this one as 2 go down immediately, but a couple get answered right back. 18 and Cracked still getting nice clean kills on Stallions, keeping them at bay, not letting them get too far into the zone at the moment. They are going to get these P2 spawns for a little bit, but Assault is ready for that one, going to find 2. And now a bit of a staggered situation here for Stallions as they're going to try one more pinch here on the point.
Yeah, Ulysses trying to just get on for a little bit of contest time, and he's able to hold his ground, but the spawns are going to be flipping once again, and at this time, it's kind of favoring 18 and Cracked, but instantly realizing this on the spot Ulysses. I love this from him. Instantly going from trying to clear out one objective to clearing out the next spawns. Unfortunately for him, it's not going to quite go that way because 18 and Cracked are all getting the squad spawns up together. They have, however, gotten a nice little rotation in the form of a 2Real who can afford to get a little bit of a counter setup to what they're going to try and do here, 18 and Cracked.
I think Kaiser just spawned right in the middle of gunfire. Did you see that over by Deep River? He popped up for half a second there and just got lasered over from the back. What an unfortunate spawn there for Kaiser. But yeah, you're right. You had 2Real kind of hanging out over by that tree spawn. It looks like it panned out for him. So now they're going to be able to hop onto the site here and be able to get some points. They still don't have the lead back quite yet as Exceed's just going to hop over the rail and find kills, and Assault finds 3. Stallion still holding on to spawns at the moment, though.
No, holding on to the spawns, but there's only so many ways you can break out from, and Shawnee is definitely covering one of them. Two Reel's trying to get close up and personal with them to make sure that they can at least push out of their spawn and go and get some time on the current objective, but it's not going to be very easy. You see, they're still holding down this mid-map, so not only are they increasing their chances of getting time off of this hill, the next hill is also going to be very hard to break for Stallions and get good control over the next objective. They're setting themselves up very well here, 18 Crack.
Themselves up indeed, but keep an eye on the Stallions here. They're gonna try to maintain the ground on the side, and you know, for Cryptic, his goal right now, don't let anybody get through that zig. Don't want to let that flank up, as Yuli's gonna try to push around the back, but he is gonna get caught. So now gonna have a bit of a fight here in the middle. Two Real gonna chase a couple down, and now this is gonna be kind of strained over towards Shed side. They're gonna try to push over through. Still no one hopping onto this point yet. It's going to be a pinstripe feed. No one really getting the upper hand at the moment. It's going to finally be Stallions who are going to touch the point. Yuli with a nice bunny going to be able to find that kill onto Classic at the moment. So 18 Crack getting pushed back in the meantime. Don't count him out quite yet. You know how deadly these guys are.
Yeah, especially with Cryptic making the full flank around the bottom. Probably got a call out. You see Shawnee and Classic instantly tried to snap on him there because they saw that Exceed spawn towards the top. That means there's someone towards the bottom, which is Cryptic. Now they're trying avidly to take him down. That does open up some things, especially now that Kaiser is able to take down their player on the next objective. It's going to be a little bit difficult for 18 and Cracked to man the next objective with Kaiser watching every single angle they can pretty much possibly come onto, aside from Shawnee. But either way, this is only something that they can hold up for the time being. It's not a lasting solution.
Steve is going to try to break the formation there, but is ultimately going to get caught. Now, Two Real on the flank, going to find two. Big flank here out of Two Real. Going to push on up. Shawnee going to be in the point. He's going to get found there by Kaiser, so that's going to be a spawn flip and a point hold here for the Stallions. They're going to try to hop onto this point, but 18 Crack aren't quite done with them quite yet. They move on through the middle. Try to find this last player. It's going to be Cryptic, but he's just not letting them have it. He's going to find two before ultimately getting taken down, which is going to equal more time here for the Stallions. One final push here for 18 and Crack to try to hop on through, but Cryptic back in 10 with that AR. But it's going to ultimately get taken down. So 18 and Crack, once again, just a nice blunt push through the middle is going to ultimately get them to this point once again and get this time back. So Stallions putting up a good effort, but they just can't seem to hold on towards the end. 18 and Crack just showing their gun skill here.
And in the meantime, Shawnee's trying to go in for a little bit of a hold on the enemy spawns here. It's pretty common to see them trying to do stuff like this. It's exactly what Stallions tried to do to 18 and Crack the last time around. It's a proper cut off on the spawn. But unfortunately for him, that Stallions players are still on the objective. No one is respawning. Before he's even able to do too much with that position, he gets taken down. So very good from Stallions to avoid getting spawn trapped like that. Although challenges coming out from the other end, you can't really get too complacent in this map. Exceed, literally epitome of one shot, is going to be getting control over the objective from Stallions.
Stallions spawning out now. Going to have to work on another push to break through 18 and Crack's hold of this point for right now. But it just doesn't seem possible as Assault is just still continuing to fry. 23 and 20 at the moment. But you constantly see him in the kills, getting the kills that matter on each of these points. Yuli, though, back in his usual spot up top. They're trying to make another play. He's going to look for Shawnee and Classic. Only finds Classic in the meantime. Shawnee going to push on through as the rest of his team going to hold the rest of this time. Now he's going to work on over towards 4. Safe hold there. The Crack, they're up by 50.
Oh, and the off-objective players from Stallions are going to get found out, and the bottom push is going to be wide open for Shawnee. This is a hill that could potentially have been set up on strongly by Stallions, but instead 18 and Crack are going to catch them while they're weak and sprint through the tiny map, taking control over the objective instantaneously. Another good look at E4 on the cards now for 18 and Cracked.
These are cracking a great setup there, but here comes the Stallions. They're going to push on through. They're going to get 3. They're going to get 4 with Yuli pushing on through. Yuli continuing to fry for his team. Going to need a little help if they're going to try to bring this one back for sure. They do have the farm. They do have the point. Now they got to get the setup down and win the next few gunfights. They'll be able to bring themselves right back into it. But when Classic is making moves like that, it's going to be really hard to do so indeed. He's going to find 2. He's going to find 3. Classic is going to push on through, and Assault going to find the final Stallion. 18 and Crack with another hill break. Successful one is going to get them to that double century mark.
Yeah, and they're getting held pretty hard in these spawns as well. This is literally the best position 18 and Crash could hope for with 5 seconds left going into the next objective. You really need your out-and-out player like Cryptic to do something crazy, break through the middle of the map. The spawn for Ulysses is not going to be that great either because Shawnee is literally right there. They do eventually manage to take on the players mid-map, but 10 seconds have already gone the other way, and they're set up properly to deal with this. Number 4, he's going to be running out in exactly the time that the players are going to be respawning from the other side. A strong hold on the middle of the map is going to be resulting now for 18 and Cracked. really limiting what Stallions can do here with not a lot of time remaining.
Not a lot of time remaining. You see it on top of the scoreboard right there. A minute and 30 to go. And now we got 30 seconds left on this P5, and 18 Crack are going to hold tight at the moment. Stallion's going to try to make a break. Got 2 real, finding 1, but is not going to be able to do much else. Clean 4 there for 18 and Cracked as they continue to pull away with this one, up by about 100 points here on this Bocage hard point. Just going to continue to eat up this time. I think the Stallion's starting to know that it's over, trying to make one final push, but the kills still lighting up white here for 18 and Cracked in the kill feed. Kaiser going to try to make some noise, but it's just not going to be enough. One more hill here on P1 should ultimately pull this one out.
I mean, it very well could. It's not usually a hill that you depend on for a lot of time, but with 4 seconds left, you could definitely get it for 18 and Cracked. Shawnee on, and he's standing his ground very strongly. 18 and Cracked, they are going to be overwhelming their opponents with superior strength and taking this first hard point.
I mean, just a dominant victory. I mean, it was very, very close up until the latter half of that hard point, that map there. 18 and Cracked just really started to pull away, and it really started inside of that P3 over in Grandma's house. I mean, they just didn't seem like they would die, and then there's a nice string of hills, a nice, great string of hill breaks. Stallion just couldn't hold anything together, man.
Yeah, and it was a lot of really good holds on P4 as well from 18 and Cracked. They pretty much always got an easy into P4 just because Stallions, even when they did get a road, did try to hold on to the next objective with 10 seconds remaining. It just wasn't enough. All their players in mid-map died and put them in a 4v2 situation, so their P4s really weren't that great. But either way, 18 and Cracked, it's not a map that's really about rotations, and overall 18 and Cracked, we're showing their crackness on the smallest map in the game where you're going to get the most engagements possible. And so their gunfights definitely putting them over the top in Bocage Hardpoint. Now going into some Tuscan Search and Destroy, you have to be a little bit more careful at what gunfights you take. You can't just fling your opponents in like it's Bocage Hardpoint.
No, and you got to know if you're the Stallions right now, first thing is you want to make sure the gunfights you get into are ones that are going to be valuable and ones that you're not going to be doing by yourself. You know the guys on the other end are going to be trying to gun you, and they're going to be hard to try to run away from and try to avoid going down for. You got to try to push as a team, work as a team to clear these bomb sites, get those quick plants while you're on offense. You know the gunnies are so strong. You want to make sure that you try to avoid that at all costs and push together, play as a team. And I think they definitely have a chance at this. I saw a lot of great plays out of Yuli there. He definitely shined for me for the Stallions. Definitely someone to keep an eye on. As long as he gets the help that he needs on this map, they could at least make this competitive.
Yeah, he's definitely a player I'm looking at in this one. Also, Pac Reptic. He's a player that I've seen for quite some time in the Search and Destroys do insane work. And so those are 2 players on the side of Stallions that I'm expecting to be big impact players. But looking on the other side, obviously you got a lot of players with CDL experience. So you got Shawnee, you got Assault, you got Classic. And so I've seen all these players, and like namely Assault as well, do some good stuff in some Search and Destroys. So I am not necessarily overly hopeful for Stallions, especially looking at the ratios between them in the Search and Destroys. Obviously, a better ratio in Search and Destroy going into the favor of 18 and Cracked. They've got 3 and 2, whereas I believe Stallions are 2 and 3 or something like that. So it's very close, but still 18 and Cracked looking better in the Search and Destroys.
And just more experience too. I mean, a lot of these guys have been around the scene for a while, have a lot more reps in the Surge game, so it just comes natural to them. So as Stallions have their work cut out for them here, they're gonna have a tough hill to climb to try to take this map for sure. So I mean, who knows, man? I mean, again, it gets really mixy down here. We talked about it in the beginning of the stream, just how mixy the bottom 4 are, and the Stallions have definitely done their best to try to stand their ground, and they are in a position to try to make this, but it's going to be a miracle run to do so. 18 and Cracked are tough, man.
Yeah, they really are. It's definitely going to be a little bit of a difficult one. Obviously, major things that are going to be coming into play here is util usage over on the alpha objective. It's like I see a lot of pushes succeed or fail by the ability for you to hit your nade on the person that's going onto the planet at the right time, and how do you know when to do that? Some good intel. So it's going to be interesting to see who can get proper control over mid map. For the attacking team, it's going to be a must. And for the defending team, it's going to be also a little bit important, but in order to prevent the plant possibly. But for the attacking side, you really need it in order to make sure you're not just going to get shot off the plant. So there's things like that are going to be taken into account going into the Search and Destroy. Robert, any last minute predictions you want to make, or anything you want to say before we get into this?
I mean, I was gonna just add on to what you were saying. I think first bloods are everything on this map, especially over on that mid side as you try to get mid control, try to get those first beams up on top church or on top fire. like definitely something you want to just try to get a hold of, and don't let them get any first bloods for free, right? Get your trades. I think it's ultimately going to be what matters here. If you're asking for a prediction, I think I'm going to side alongside you. I definitely think 18 and cracked just have the search and destroy prowess to take this one home.
Yeah, they definitely got the momentum going with them. They've got just the experience factors, and those are some pretty major things going into some search and destroys. So I have to go out on. I have to place my bet with them. Although I would really like to see a potential comeback coming out here from Stallions, and have them do like a barn burner, like a world burner, whatever on this on the search and destroy. That would be pretty interesting. But I still have to side on the fact that it's more likely that it's going to be a good game coming out here for 18 and cracked.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be in for a good map. We are loading in very, very shortly. Just waiting for everybody to get nice and settled and make sure they're nice and warm and ready to go. So it looks like we are loading on in. So hope you guys are enjoying a great night of challengers. I know we had EU earlier on today. We've had a multiple NA broadcasts happen today, and it's been fun from what I've seen. I was able to pop in during work today, and I was able to watch some of the EU stuff. And I know there's a lot of fun stuff happening on that side of the aisle for sure. And NA, man, this is where my bread and butter is, man. It's a lot of fun to watch, and I still enjoy watching and being able to cast these players.
Oh yeah, me too. I've definitely gotten to see my fair share of the EU guys, but it's always refreshing to go back to your side of the pond and see the North American guys that you've been watching, some of them since you're little. But yeah, either ways, we are now in here with some Stallions versus 18 and cracked on Search and Destroy on Tuscan.
So just around Tuscan, it's going to be 18 and cracked who are going to have the bomb planting responsibilities first. They're going to be on that attack side. Classic going to be the designated bomb planter, and it looks like we're going to see the tried and true method of going A. But look at the Stallions. They're going to go through B, and it looks like we're going to have a full-fledged flank here.
I love the audacity from Stallions to do this. And 18 and cracked, they're not going for the plant. It's so crazy. I'm amazed that this is in a situation where it could potentially be working. They see Classic on the plant, but above them, they've got to worry about Shawnee. Trades going left, right, and center, and oh my god, you still got to worry about this 2v2 situation. Bomb going to be going down. This is a great opportunity for them. They got the player up top, and they do. And so 18 and cracked are going to be relegated to just the top side of the map, where Stallions are going to have to come back through the church and potentially find Exceed.
Stallions with a little homage there to the org owner. With that nice flank there. I mean, it was called out, but they were able to even the score, and now they find themselves with the man advantage. 2 versus 1 up against Classic, who's going to have to be forced to back up. Two-Real's going to hop on the bomb, so now Cryptic going to have to just wait. He better be pre-aiming that top fire, or else he's going to go through. Classic going to try to find the shots. He finds Cryptic, but doesn't find Two-Real, so he's going to be able to get to the fuse, and that is a round win for the Stallions to kick this one off.
Yeah, Stallions. Most ambitious play I would not have expected that out of them, to be totally honest with you. You can hear me now. I'm a little bit flabbergasted. I did not expect them to all run bottom map and try and take the full flank, completely giving up A. And it looked like 18 and cracked weren't necessarily aware of that either with how long it took them to plant. But as soon as they tried to go for it, Classic finds, oh shoot, we got guys coming at us mid-map, and gets fried. So yeah, if they keep pulling out of the box things like that, now they're going full B. Look at this from Stallions. This is exactly what I was hoping for.
Wow, the Stallions just going against the status quo with these pushes, showing love to that B site. And they're going to get the kills to show it too. God. Classic again, finding himself alone, this time in a 1v3. Cryptic going to grab the bomb, and it looks like a rotation over to A, just leaving Classic high and dry over on patio. So he's now going to have to try to make a full rotation. Another stellar start here out of the Stallions.
Stellar start from the Stallions. I love the alliteration, and in they go for the plant. Although Classic is going to be in a position where he can kill the player off the plant if he plays his cards right, and oh, he does get away Cryptic. So now 18 and cracked. They're not in the best position to go for this retake. Stallions, oh my god, this is not what I was expecting in the slightest. But like, man, oh man, are they playing this very well? They're coming out with the barn burner here, Robert.
Coming out with the barn burner, indeed. They're starting to set the fire on. They lit the first match. 18 and Classic is going to look to snuff it out, though. Going to have to answer right back. I mean, these are just unprecedented strats out of the Stallions. It's just throwing 18 crack. If you can see it on the minimap, at least from our angle, right? Like you see 18 crack all turn around, being like, "What is happening behind us?" Realizing what the Stallions have done.
I guess one of the shortcomings of experience is you know what to expect, and when something unexpected happens, you're not ready for it. But either way, Stallions doing the same thing, man. Doing the same thing, and they get Exceed again, but the plant is coming down a lot quicker from 18 and crack. They know what's going on this time. They've seen this playbook before, And so they're dividing themselves up to opposite corners of the map to make sure that Stallions do not come at them from another unexpected direction.
They get that first blood. I mean, they're just not slowing down at all. Full on aggression, pedal to the metal, pushing on through. But Classic now going to even up the score at 3. 24 seconds on the clock. Stallion's got to start making some kills, and he's going to start with 2 Real. He's going to find Shawnee as Classic goes down as well. 2v1 once again for the Stallions. Assault finds himself alone this time. 15 seconds. The stun comes in. Can he make the play? He cannot. So the Stallion's going to get a defuse. 3-0 Stallions.
Absolute craziness coming out from the Stallions. Whoever their coach is, hats off to them. It's definitely paying off. This is something that can only come out with lots and lots of practice. Stallions, oh my god, absolutely having 18 and Cracked really bad right now.
And 18 and Cracked just can't seem to find an answer at the moment. You got to hand it to the Stallions. They're just going full aggro. They're not waiting at all for 18 and Cracked to get themselves in position. They're just going full blown, getting the first bloods and just pushing on through and finding the kills. They're winning the gunfight they need to, and that comes on the back of 2 Real. He's currently sitting at 5-0 right now. You might start seeing him play for streaks here. They can afford to lose a round if it means they're going to be able to get some streaks in their back pocket.
That is very true. We were talking about this potentially being a fire that burns out of control. It's looking like a gas fire right now from 18 and Cracked. It's going to be a massive explosion at the end of it. They lose Shawnee very early on, again getting first blood, but Exceed's stun grenade is going to be able to take down 1 in return. Now, oh man, that's a little bit tough for Stallions. So they do get a little bit stunted out towards B, and now that is bombed down. So with a minute left, they're going to have to be a little bit sneaky once again.
So 2 Real is going to be pushing in towards the back. I'm going to be curious if he wants to play this a little slow. You see Cryptic on the opposite side of the map. They're going to have to try to recover this bomb, but it's going to be easier said than done here. Script's going to be waiting, not getting the peek in time, but Assault saw him onto that spot. Is going to get taken out. So now 2 Real finds himself in a 1v3. Might just be looking to sit back and stand by. We're going to have to wait and see. He's going to hide in this back tank.
Yeah, that seems to be exactly what 2 Real is doing right now. With 5 kills, you're really nursing streaks now. Your opponents are staying very close to each other. It's going to be very unlikely that you're able to just go into that building and take them all down. So 2 Real, he's seeing if anyone wants to come out and try and find him here and maybe add on to his streaks. But at the end of the day, it's going to be, he's not really looking to win this round. He knows it's basically impossible. So he's just trying to make it possible for them to win the next couple of rounds, potentially.
Should get some nice shots of the map. Let's go free cam a little bit. Let's get some nice, beautiful, like panoramic shots of this wonderful map that Tuscan is, but we didn't have as much time as we need. So 18 and Crack gonna finally get on the board. 2 Real just gonna play for your streaks. He's still on 5, so definitely has the opportunity to get that glide here if he's able to pick up a couple in the next round.
Yeah, I mean, something that we neglected to mention here, Robert, is that Stallions have a home field advantage, judging by the fact that the map takes place in Italy, Tuscany. But yeah, they're definitely using the home field advantage to their advantage, and 2 Real keeping that streak alive at the end of the round. Curious to see what they do this time. It doesn't seem like they're going for a full push B once again. They appear to be playing a lot more normal this time.
18 and Cracked is going to be pushing in through B this time themselves. They do have Assault up top towards A though, trying to get some intel. This is going to be a quick play here on the B site. Here for 18 and Cracked, putting the timer in their favor. Trying to get into some of the early gunfights here, but it's ultimately going to be Yuli who finds first blood over towards ramp. And look at the triangle formation the 18 and Cracked have going on here. And look at how together Stallions are right in the middle. And it's ultimately what's panning out for him here. Yuli's just going to hop on bomb and get the defuse. And Assault just finds himself alone, not going to be able to get to this site in time. The Stallions, once again, doing what we talked about in the beginning, playing together and winning the gunfights they need to, not letting 18 and Cracked get anything for free. And that's what's got them this massive lead of 4-1.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely know when to play normal and when to play, we'll call it quote-unquote weird, in the words of Call of Duty players. But either way, it's effective. Stallions, they play it normally, and they get the good intel without taking a single death towards B that their opponents are going for a full rush B. And so pretty much as soon as that happens, they had 3 players over there, and Stallions were able to put all their manpower towards it. And I think Assault was the only one that wasn't with them, and the push just came so fast that he wasn't able to re-rotate.
Stallions opting for the quick plant onto A, the tried and true method of getting this bomb down. They're going to do it. 43 on the clock. Get it in their favor and just going to reorganize themselves as 18 and Cracked. All standing at the altar in the church there. Trying to find some kills, but they can't find any at all. 2 Real will, though. They'll find Exceed over on the B side of things. The 1v1s over on that side going in favor of the Stallions. And look at this. Another quick kills. Another 1v3 scenario for Classic. and he'll actually be able to find one this time. He does pick up Kaiser, but now the rotation coming through. Only 15 seconds on the clock. Would take a miracle for him to be able to do anything about it, but won't happen today. Stallions making it map points, 5-1.
Oh my gosh, speaking of miracles, I'm starting to believe in them. Stallions having a day up against 18 and Crack. Look at this. This is exactly what I was saying that I wasn't expecting, but could still happen. Didn't shut the door to it. But dude, 5-1 is not a score line that I don't think anyone was expecting right now. But Stallions are just having a field day up against 18 and Crack. They can't seem to pin them down. And Stallions, especially in that last round, they were moving all around them, enveloping them, getting full flanks on them in perfect positions. So 18 and Cracked, it's definitely going to require a lot of changes.
Quick plan onto A here for 18 and Crack, but there's no Stallion in sight. They're going to be moving around, but Two Real does use that glide and picks up Classic after the bomb does go down. So man advantage Stallions as they go on the rotation. 18 and Cracked know where they're coming from. They've seen this playbook before, like you said. And they are going to find Yulian and Cryptic in the process. So 18 and Cracked get the man advantage back, but Two Real doesn't want that to last very long. He makes it 2-2, and now reset and wait.
Yes, and in the meantime, you got Kaiser coming all the way around the back of your opponent's Two Real. That's a huge kill,
God.
but he's still got a line of sight on the bomb. Literally can see it perfectly. Knows there's someone coming around the back. That's great. That's a great read coming out from Assault, and it's all on Two Real trying to get a solid nade onto his opponent, but unfortunately, it's going to be slightly off the mark, and 18 and Cracked taking a very close but necessary round.
18 and Cracked. Gonna look to try to bring this one back slow and steady. They were able to read that play that time, and that was just such a heads-up play there out of Assault, knowing he got his reps in, just knowing that there was only one player on the bomb. He got sight on him, and knowing the other one was fast approaching from backfire. So a quick turnaround gets him that round. He currently sits at 8-4, man. He got the team on his back at the moment.
Yeah, and the biggest thing as well is that they won that round despite the streak investment from Two Real. That's one of the things that we were talking about could have an impact on later rounds, but it didn't. So they're basically back on even playing terms, aside from the fact that they need to make the full sale pretty much.
And a couple kills going back and forth is going to be 18 and Cracked. Okay, they're going to make quick work of that. Nate's flying all over the place. Couldn't even track what was going on. Was just trying to let you finish your thought. But yeah, a round came and went. 18 and Cracked on the board once again.
Yeah, and before you can think of the words to say, literally that round is over. Explosion, explosive gameplay, and explosive grenades going to be leading to the death of all the Stallions players in a very short time window. And now we were talking about the streak from Two Real, and we're going to have to start talking about the potential streak coming out from Assault. He's 3 away from the glide bomb, and yeah, I can definitely see him making it happen.
He can definitely make it happen. He's starting to really fry. He's got the AR in his hands, so he can definitely play back and try to get these first couple of picks. The Stallions actually going to populate the charts this time, as 18 and Crack start to make moves over towards A, but this is about to be a bloodbath. Look at number 3. It's going to be Exceed on your minimap. He's going for the long flank. Is he going to be able to find any? Yuli's going to find Assault Classic with a kill, but now Exceed's going to make his move. So it's going to be a 2v1 here for 18 and Crack, but Two Real with a big kill on the Classic. The bomb doesn't get planted, so it's going to be sitting at A site. 1v1, Two Real and Exceed. Two Real going to look to close this out for the Stallions.
Yes, 50 seconds remaining, and they're on a collision course. Busting through the door like the Kool-Aid Man. Oh, no! Exceed taking him down for the count. And the hopes for 18 and Cracked are still alive, and they're starting to slowly dissipate for the Stallions. They just need one more round of the next 2. But slowly but and surely, 18 and Cracked are figuring them out.
18 and Crack starting to finally bring this one back. Stallions need to tighten up a little bit here. They really don't want to let this search slip through their grasp. They were up 5-1. But 18 and Crack, you never want to count them out, man. This team is so dangerous. But look at this once again. Stallions might be able to try to get a quick plant down. No, they're going to play a little more patient. They're going to slow this down. They're going to wait for 18 and Crack to come to them. They might be switching the momentum in their favor here.
Oh, that was a good call from the stun check, but Classic unable to take him down for the count. That's one huge key player off the bat.
What?
And there goes Exceed. 2 health remaining. That is a massive kill because it gets him 1 off the streaks and gets insane positioning for them. He's going to be going down Assault and Exceed. He's going to be finally dead as a doornail. It's all on main man Sean. He's got a 1v1 versus Cryptic, which he's able to get. But the bomb is going to be down towards A. That's something that he needs to eventually think about with these 45 seconds remaining.
Have to think about it, and you got to hope that it's there. The Stallions are going to pick it up. He should get some intel. He's got Two Real in his sights. He's going to fire some bullets, but Kaiser there for the pickup. The Stallions are going to take this search and destroy here on Tuscan, and we got ourselves a tied series.
Whew. I was starting to sweat a little bit there for the Stallions, man, but eventually they're able to come out of it with the W. The early game rounds that they got just by sheer surprise of their opponents was enough to sail them through to the finish line. And hey, hats off. I called it, but I didn't think it was going to happen. Stallions, what an amazing search and destroy. I haven't seen one quite like that.
It did exactly what they needed to do. Exactly what they needed to do. Now, I mean, I definitely didn't call those unique plays that we saw in the beginning, especially on those attack rounds, that full B push. But man, they did it and they did it well. The play call was there and it kept working and they didn't stop there. They didn't try to over adjust. They did what they needed to do. And then on that last round, slowing it down, making 18 Cracked panic just a little bit, and that ultimately led to the victory there. So yeah, like you said, great search and destroy there out of the Stallions for sure.
Yeah, now going into the control, this is one of the more difficult to call ones because both of them are 2-2. It's 50-50 chance, and that's how it is in my mind, a 50-50 chance. But whoever does end up on the top 50 of this is going to be in a much, much better spot. It would ideally be Stallions because if they want to win this, because going back into that hard point, 18 and Cracked. Granted, I can't really put a whole lot of weight in that hard point because it was Bocage. But just on a Crackedness perspective, 18 and Cracked looked a little bit better in the hard point today.
It's a little bit better, and I will note that for coming up on this Gavin 2 control, that it's just been more reps here for 18 and Cracked. They currently sit at 2-2 on the Gavin 2 controlled so far on this elite stage. So they definitely have probably had the reps in, probably even tightened up a lot of the mistakes that cost them the 2 maps that they fixed. And for Stallions, man, I mean, this is where they're going to have to try to continue this momentum. I mean, they just got to try to ride the wave. That was such a good clinical search and destroy. They're just going to have to do the same thing here. They're going to have to look for the pacing that 18 and Cracked are going to take on this map and try to shove it right back in their face and control the game. Control the pace, you control the game, and you win the control. That's just how it is.
Right. That's good words to live by right there, Robert. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, as we wait for this bespoke control to start, we are going to be going to a quick break, so make sure you guys stay tuned. It won't be that long of a break at all. We'll see you then. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are in here with a fight for survival in the CDL Elite Series between 18 and Cracked and Stallions. Currently 1-1 tie series, and I am joined by Robert Morrison III.
So Kyle, thanks for having me on, man. It's been a great series so far. We're tied up 1-1. Stallions with a great search and destroy to tie this one back up, but they still have a big hill to climb here on Gavitu control. You know how this map gets. Get right into it. It's going to be just kind of even to start it off. It's going to be 18 Crack on the attacking side, trying to attack that A site to start off, but at the moment, Stallions keeping them back, but the trades are coming through. So 18 Crack should have a little bit of time to take the hill, but look at 2Real, how pushed up he is. You might be able to catch 18 Crack off guard here.
Yeah, but just as likely is the fact that Exceed catches Stallions off guard. He's already gotten one, and literally every single player except for Yuli is stuck back. Found Yuli as well, so eventually this could lead to a pretty tough spawn trap. Either way, can be difficult for them to get out, except for now that they have killed Shawnee. So now this does open up the floodgate slightly for Stallions to get retaken.
Trying to get there and try to make it happen. Still being a nuisance on the inside. Exceeding Classic, though, with the follow-ups with those ARs. Going to clear out that A site and keep putting on the ticks. Let's see if they're going to be able to get this third one here. Looks like they will do so. Stallion's going to give it up, and it's now going to be over to the dreaded B site. We know how defensive heavy this is, but Kyle, correct me if I'm wrong, it's definitely started to get figured out here for attacking sides in recent weeks.
Yeah, it definitely has been, and Stallions, they're set up pretty dang well. They've got good control over P1, but they've got equal number of opponents challenging them out. 2Real going to get caught in the process, and now Yuli, Classic knows exactly where he is. He's trying to do a little bit of a workaround on him, but now he's going to end up going right into the path, or vice versa. It's going to be Yuli that runs right in front of him, so 18 Cracked, at the very least, are going to be able to retake control over P1.
Taking control for right now, but 18 Cracked going to get shift control as well. Look at Yuli. He's number 5 on your minimap. Going to try to make this player on P1, try to regain it back, but he's going to get pinched out. So 18 Cracked just going to kind of group up and have a little bit of a group meeting there on that P1 side on top of the hill. Kaiser, though, going to play nice and sneaky. He's going to find one. He does. Can't find the second one, though. Shawnee there with a quick trade. Stallion just playing nice and slow again. But meanwhile, the bomb and your that there, 2Real. He's going to be pushing through P1 once again. He didn't see Exceed, who's going to be sitting in top 3. And now he's going to have a clear lane to this. He's going to be able to find one. And the kill on the P1 sets Exceed up. So now the pinch coming in from 18 and Cracked. And they're going to look to get some good time right here, right now.
Big win for Exceed. He's going to completely fry Yuli off that heady, and now they are in on the objective. It's going to be really hard for Stallions to push back into this. Assault got this lane on lockdown alongside Classic, and Stallions is going to have to be really something special. Although they do manage to wallbang the guy off of the landing craft, so time is not going into the hands of 18 and Cracked right now. As long as they can keep them off this, the game is now turned back into the hands of Stallions.
The Stallions are losing lives quickly, but those kills send 18 and Cracked back to the Shadow Realm, where they're going to have to run all the way across. One final push here, 10 seconds. Probably not going to get there in any valuable way. Looks like they're just going to try to find a couple of quick picks to increase that life count and just kind of wait on for the next round. Stallions holding steady. They're on the B site. Take the first round.
Yeah, Stallions holding that pretty strong until the end. There was a moment there where I really thought that 18 and Cracked off the back of Exceed was going to be able to get in there, but unfortunately made himself a little bit too apparent on the landing craft, got wall banged through it, I do believe, and that could have really been an attacking round in the favor of 18 and Cracked, but luckily for Stallions, they're able to avoid that eventuality. Now, I'm curious, because of how they played that Search and Destroy, we've seen so much emphasis towards A. Do they try and do something crazy and go towards B? Yes, that seems to be exactly what they're doing.
Yeah. Oh, you called it, man. You had the reads, man. You're in their head.
Wow,
you gotta be the coach. You gotta be the coach. Yeah, you're a smart man. You're a smart fellow. I'm glad I'm able to cast with you. Moving over towards the B side, here are the Stallions, and I think 18 Cracked going to pick up on their little game here as Assault going to try to get the first bullets, but it's going to be 2Real, turning right around and putting them right back in his own head. So now Exceed's going to find Tune and try to break on through. 18 Cracked do find the kills, though, but Cryptic put up a little bit of a fight before going down there. Nice little message start here for the Stallions to kind of put 18 Cracked off their game, but now back to the routine fundamentals. We're back towards A.
However, they do get a tick towards B, and that's more than 18 and Cracked was able to do on their push towards B. That could definitely come into play later, so that's a good take early on from Stallions. Although they do still have a little bit of fighting to do over on the Alpha objective. Assault going to be opening things up onto 2Real, and oh, that's a good pickup on Yuli. They can now fully focus forward, and all that's left is Exceed. They should be able to flood him out, and there you go. Cryptic taking him down, but they're not just going for A here. They're also going for B. They know they got the full team wipe, so they're going to try and take both simultaneously.
But they're gonna put full attention over towards B, and so is Classic. He's gonna find two, gonna look for three. No, Yuli holding strong. Gonna try to get the second tick, and he got some backup. Kaiser up top, but Yuli does get ultimately taken out. So Kaiser's just gonna get taken down there on that P1. Bit of a stalemate at the moment for both of these squads. Lives just about even ticks. Going in favor of the Stallions, but they gotta try to finish it out here. So back to A we go. Here we go, round 2.
Yeah, and also the time, you're starting to run out of it if you're Stallions. So I'm starting to think here you got to make a concerted effort towards A. It's the closest objective. It's it is the easier one to take. And so you got to start getting at least a little bit of a test on it. But also, if they don't make this happen quickly enough, you got Assault coming around the back, and also this is going to be compounded by the fact that most of them are on the respawn now. Assault able to really stunt this push with not a lot of time remaining for Stallions. So it's going to be very hard, although TwoReal taking drastic measures, trying to at least stop the clock by getting on top of B.
And he's by himself over there, too. He's got some time to work with here, so now Stallion's going to try to help him out. They're actually going to get control of that P1. 18 and Crack going to spawn on the complete opposite side of the map. Keep an eye on Assault, though. He's going to be the one who's going to be making the play. He's going to be looking for his first kill on TwoReal. It does able to find him, but can he get the second one? He can't, and the Stallions are going to take the B site at the last possible second. They're going to get killed out. Lives going down in the single digits here for the Stallions. But what a play there out of Stallions. The quick flank over there, but nobody else was over. They knew where 18 and Crack were, and they were able to get the backup there in time to take that point. But they're running out of time, and they're running out of options.
Yeah, they really are, but we'll look at this from Yuli. He takes down one, and he's looking for Classic now as well. But definitely help being given by the 18 and Crack players. They've got still a very strong setup to break. A or B is still not the easiest thing to take on this map, but TwoReal trying to find an opening frag grenade, not going to quite work out for him. And Shawnee trying to do some damage once again in the spawns. All hands on deck now for Stallions as they run into the objective. Exceed trading out his own life, and Shawnee trying to find these final remaining players coming in.
Assault's going to help with that. He's going to find one. TwoReal kind of caught between a rock and a hard place, quite literally, when you're sat right next to a tank. He's going to get killed out. So we all up to Cryptic. 18 and Cracked. Although a stellar offense on that B site there out of Stallions to begin, ultimately weren't able to get it done. So 18 and Cracked going to survive, get that defense, and I think they're up 8 lives after that.
Yeah, it's a very well played game from Stallions. Of all the objectives I thought they were going to take, B was not my guess. But, I mean, hey, it just goes to show 18 and Crack, they can't just totally sit down on A, otherwise you could potentially lose B. So that does, regardless of how effective it is in the immediate, it makes 18 and Cracked have in the back of their mind, are they going to go B again, and is it going to be more successful than it was the last time? Did we just get lucky on B? So, instead, they are going to have to play a little bit more open to start, and that leaves things open on both objectives, whether they like it or not.
Looks like 18 and Crack this time are going to be the ones thinking B. They're going to be moving over to out of B, but TwoReal is going to read that. You can't steal a page out of our playbook. He's going to get taken down, and the push onto P1 by Yuli leads to 2 kills and a full clear out here. So 18 and Cracked going to look to try to do it again, but look where Classic is, man. He's all the way on the B side. He rats all the way around, so he's going to be by himself. Have you seen this map configuration before? Classic is just going to be sitting there by himself, waiting for the backup. He's going to have to defend himself against the entire Stallion squad as they go to spawn back in.
Oh, but look at this from Cryptic. Oh, runs barely out of ammo. That was about to be a full team wipe again, and that would mean no help at all for Classic. But Classic doing a pretty dang good job by himself. I do believe that Kaiser's trying to take him on right now, and he does finally get him off the objective before the second tick does come down. 18 and Cracked, they are in a little bit of a pickle right now. They're pretty much stuck in their spawn, and they're now going towards B. Stallions are not totally set up towards B, but they can easily make the rotation. It just has to be, they have to realize it fast enough that they're all coming here first.
Get a couple of shots. He's going to win that one with a pistol there on the TwoReal. Yuli, though, getting another 2-piece on that P1. That is his spot. He keeps going up there and clearing that out. And he's going to find a third there on the Shawnee. Going to force 18 and Crack to reevaluate themselves and head back over towards A, which it looks like they have a couple players ready for it. Kaiser and TwoReal. Classic going to try and chow with the pistol. Can't get it done. His guys are waiting for him. Pinstripe feed here as it's going to be Exceed by himself over on A. He's going to get things going. Stallion spawning in towards back green. They're going to try to make the play, but keep an eye on Yuli at the top of your mini-map. He might be going for the flank.
Yeah, and only one tick on the board for 18 and Crack. That is very not optimal for them, especially if they want to be getting this final defense here. Stallions now going to have to make their way back in towards A with the help of Yuli on the flank. They've got Assault at least distracted. And so, yeah, he's actually circumvented him completely. So now he might be able to make a push onto the objective itself. But his teammates have already gotten that on lockdown. He's now able to act as the first line of defense. It's Classic versus 2, trying to take one down, but Kaiser is going to be having his number. No one can touch this objective in time, so 18 and Cracked are not going to be able to get the full cap.
Great play there out of Yuli. I mean, he was in Assault's head the whole time, just basically circling around him. He knew he was there, but Assault just couldn't find him up until the very end, and Yuli ended up with the kill, and Kaiser with the follow-up. Just led to just complete disorganization there out of 18 and Cracked, who weren't able to hop into the point in time. So now we go to that point, man, and it's going to be Stallions back on the attacking side, but we know how this game goes. 18 and Cracked with a massive advantage here on defense, and I don't think that changes just because the Stallions are up.
Yeah, one thing I do have to say, though, is that Stallions, they react very fast to each other's callouts. Like, they did keep some good mid-map presence, and they were able to instantly clamp down on the push towards B when it happened from 18 and Cracked. That's why they were able to do it so fast, despite the fact that they only had 2 people over on the Bravo objective. They were able to pretty much go from the middle of the map, cut them off as soon as they got the call out that they were overextended past them. So it's some great callouts that we're seeing from Stallions, even though we're not hearing them.
Okay, I want to point out, 2Real just threw a haymaker at Yuli.
Just
but a couple of headshots. Yeah, he just punched him out right in the middle of P1. What the hell was that for? But Stallions did make good, significant progress over towards B. They do get that first tick, but ultimately they're going to get surrounded and get taken out. They do get that tick, but they had a strong couple of kill outs. I'm sorry I was distracted by the punching your own teammate thing, but I got to say that's a unique one. I don't think I've seen that before.
Yeah, that's the first one for me as well in all my years of podcasting. But either way, Yuli taking a very similar route to what we saw Classic do earlier, causing a lot of attention. Literally everybody looks towards the Bravo objective. He does eventually go down, but they are able to take on the player onto P1, opening up the doors a little bit, and they catch Classic, who is their immediate threat into stopping their push right now. Cracked, starting to get a lot more hunkered down onto B. Not a whole lot presence in the mid-map besides Exceed there, who Yuli does eventually take down, and so Path to A is wide open for them too.
Path to A is there, but they're just going to keep going headstrong over towards this B site. That is their site, and they want it back. And Cryptic's going to make sure it happens. He's going to start with 2. He's going to get taken out, but he's got the backup. 2Real pushing on through, going to find Classic. Now 1v1 with Shawnee on the inside. Shawnee doesn't really have a clue where he's at. Now he does. 2Real with the pistol, going to get the kill. No, he ran out of ammo. Shawnee has just a few more bullets left in his clip. But now we move over to A, and look at this stack here for the Stallions.
Yeah, and it's only Classic sent to deal with the entirety of the Stallions team. Ambitious effort, but we'll see if it pays off. But he does eventually have some health now. In he goes, but instantly gets fried by Kaiser. So now it's going to be a lot more difficult for 18 and Crack to make this counterattack. But yeah, now it looks like 2Real actually trying to meet them in the middle of the map, they feel very comfortable on A here, Robert, and they're fine enough to overextend past the map. They feel like they got firm control over A.
And Yuli just continues. It's going to start this B tick early, so it's going to force 18 and Crack Can to just slant on over. That should open up some space for the Stallions to keep moving on through that green site, but they are going to play patient. They have lives advantage. They're up by 4, and they have plenty of time to work with. So just wait for the reinforcements, get everybody back, and make the play. Sitting by green, 18 and Crack just going to spread themselves out. Nice staggered formation here. Let's see who's going to be able to find this first blood. Yuli going to go for this Chow, but the timing is terrible. Classic going to find 1 and 2 as Cryptic caught him, unfortunately, on the top of the stairs. So a good start here for 18 and Crack to start to push the Stallions back to where they came from.
Oh, an Assault going up into their spawn. He's going to try and act as a cutoff, just as Shawnee is as well, but he's going to go down from a grenade.
No
that
way.
forces the attention of Exceed towards them. Literally divided attention now from the side of 18 and Crack. Do you look at your spawn or do you look at your opponent's spawn? There's enemies in both, but Yuli eventually is going to be going down from Exceed, so he's holding it down pretty dang well, all things considered, but Stallions are still forcing the spawns to be a little bit crazy for 18 and Crack. So if they can get their players out of their home half, this push will very likely be successful.
Gotta get these kills, though. It's gonna be a big
yes,
thing.
there
And
you go.
that's a good start. 2Real finds 2. Now the push begins. Yuli goes down, and Assault with a follow-up as well. So 2 hopping on the point. It's gonna be Kaiser and 2Real, but it's a quick answer for 18 and Crack. Kaiser has no help whatsoever, and that should do it as 18 and Crack gonna push the Stallions back. And it's gonna take this defensive round and put us to a round 5, and I honestly have no idea who has defense, to be honest with you.
If I had to go out on a limb, I would probably say Stallions, I'm pretty sure, because I actually didn't get to quite take a look at the end of it in that round, but actually no, probably not. I think of it more likely 18 and Crack. I get the final.
They were even in that round. Yep, and they get it. So I missed the first round. I knew they were up by 8 in the second, but 18 and Cracked gonna have the defense. So Stallions gonna have to clutch up here on ClutchGG to try to take this home, and they got the attacking side. And man, honestly, this is going to be close. I don't know what to predict here. I definitely think 18 Crack had the advantage, but the Stallions showing that they're just going to play crazy.
I mean, they can definitely... I like what they're doing here. They're going A to at least stop the clock, and in the meantime, they're going up and being aggressive, trying to get kills, and trying to run 18 cracked out of lives. That is one of the major things that they're trying to do right now, aside from getting A. It's a really good idea. In the meantime, 18 and cracked are kind of forced not to be able to push up too well in the middle of the map. They do eventually lose Shawnee, and now they've got intel on Assault as well. So this is a good position early on from Stallions, not to mention the fact that they're capping A.
You're gonna get that second tick as well. Yuli gonna play this on Classic and is gonna win it as well. Gonna wait for some reinforcements, but he's all alone, and Assault finally gonna get him out of there. Giants gotta regroup a little bit, but man, it actually might not be. Look where Two Real's going. He's gone. He's just gonna go over towards P1. He's gonna check it. He is all the way in the back. Kaiser gonna get a couple kills, so A's gonna get finished up, and Two Real's gonna be waiting over towards green. Is he gonna be able to get this kill? He's gonna be just chasing down a couple people towards the back. So A secured, lives advantage Stallion, and now the move around, look at Two Real. He was already set up for this. He's gonna try to find Exceed, can't get it done. Good start here for the Stallions. These next couple kills are gonna be crucial.
Oh my god, and they've got an instant pathway on C if they do decide to want it, but they're just getting the kills. The only one that they really have to worry about positioning-wise right now is Shawnee, but no one's dead. No one's gonna be on the respawn right now for him to deal with. His position is only so good as his teammate's able to get kills, and now it's been revealed to Two Real that he is back here now as well. 18 and cracked, spawning very far from the objective. They do manage to get the player off it with a good glide bomb from Classic, but still, the problem is definitely not sorted just yet for them.
Keep an eye on this battle with Exceed. It's going to be Two Real and Exceed in a 1v1, and Two Real's going to win it. So he's going to force the spawn for 18 crack. Still be a little bit towards the back over by green, but he finds himself alone. And look at the three players about to surround him. Wolves on the hunt. But Two Real's going to try to use his strength to his advantage, but can't do it for long. But look at the lives, Kyle. It's 20 to 10 Stallions.
Yeah, the damage being done by Stallions is astronomical right now. Even if they do not get this push successful, 18 and cracked, every repel that they have to do is absolutely devastating to their live count. They are able to get it back in the short term, and it's causing a lot more shells. Ooh, Two Real winning that one. Good for you, dude. And now he's going to be trying to even further whittle down the lives. They smell blood in the water. The bodies are piling up for 18 and cracked, and Stallions are looking to be the straw that breaks the camel's back.
Oh, wow, Kaiser. And you got to be careful here if you're Stallions. You don't want to get cleared out. You're running out of time. 53 seconds. You still got a little bit of time to work with, but not much. Wait for these picks. That's exactly what Cryptic is doing. Kaiser gonna force the issue. He's gonna find a couple of kills. Make that 3 kills. Kaiser is frying inside of the point. No respawns for 18 and crack, but a quick 2 kills should provide some space. Yuli though, gonna just try to play his life. He's in the wrong spot. Not gonna be able to get the kill. So 18 and crack do get a clear out, but once again, no respawns left for 18 and crack. 45 on the clock. 18 and crack have to go huge here to try to make this work. But right now, it might be all Stallions.
They would really have to live up to the name. Securing that grenade is going to be really diminishing their chances. They're not going to be able to get Shawnee back now. Cryptic taking some shots, and Assault is going to be able to take him down. But getting up close and personal is going to be Two Real. It's all on Classic. He's the only one left, and time is ticking away, and so is his life going down the drain. Stallions, out of nowhere, able to take this one as well.
I mean, on an attack ground, Kyle. Like, I mean, that is just an unprecedented play. They're out of the Stallions. And something I want to harp on once again. They did it in that last round of the Search and Destroy on Tuscan. And they did it again, if you noticed how slow they started. They had 18 and cracked, just basically stutter stepping, not being able to read what they were going to do. They had to kind of pay way too much attention over towards B, which made them just overextend over towards A, and Stallions were able to take advantage of that, get a lot of the early kills, and it was just all Stallions throughout the rest of that round.
Yeah, just everything they did in the previous rounds leading up to that point set the stage for them having a really good round there. It was what they wanted to do. Really could have done anything there, but they made the best choice. They went with the meta choice at the end, and that's try to stop the clock and then try and overextend and get as many kills as you possibly can. But the thing is that 18 and cracked couldn't totally trust that they would do that, just because they've been rushing B every single round. But then the one that matters most, they do what you would pretty much expect them to do and go for a take on A. And it was just so well played by the Stallions there at the end. A lot of the huge gunfights that they had to take there were done so expertly well. They were able to figure out where their opponents were at and find the best ways of taking them out. They were very patient with their holds in their spawn. If you notice, as soon as they got in there, it was very hard to take them out, and they did not leave until they got total intel that the rest of their opponents were spawning on the opposite side, and that the remaining two were in their spawn. So it was great communications coming out from Stallions and great calls the whole time, really.
And we're not going far. Gavitu Hardpoint is coming up next. So the Stallions up 2-1. Going to look to try to take this out on the same map that they just made such an amazing stand. But I do think, Kyle, I think we have just a couple of updates that we had from around the league for the rest of the matches. And I think we saw some interesting things for sure. And I want to know if it goes against what we talked about in terms of how what Stallions needed to try to cement their place in the playoffs. But from what I understand, Texas Nation had a 3-0 over on Strike X. But the biggest thing was that Whatever It Takes has defeated Bear Claw Esports.
That does not really change anything, I will say, because Texas was pretty much always guaranteed to get the first place spot no matter what, and them winning it doesn't change that. But the thing that you were talking about with them, like, obviously one of the contenders for the fourth spot is going, besides Stallions, is going to be that other team that you mentioned. But it's the fact that they win that doesn't really matter because you still got the head-to-head, because the next game, the final game that Stallions is going to have after this, is still that team. I feel really bad. I don't remember the name of them.
You're good.
It is Whatever It Takes. So they still have a game against Whatever It Takes. So as long as they win that one, they will beat them they will have the same amount of scores or a little bit more than that, and the head-to-head will still put them over the top. So Stallions, that doesn't change anything. Their victory is still in their hands, at least somewhat.
And they got to win this. I mean, they still have, again, don't count out 18 and Crack. There are still, this map up ahead that they can try to win it on, but then there might be a game 5 if they can't quite close it out here on the Gavitu. But I mean, if you were a betting man, I guess, where is your money? Do you still think 18 and Cracked and the veteran experience are going to kick in and they're going to be able to take this one back? Or do you think the Stallions are just on a roll right now?
What I have to say is I think this is going to go map 5. I don't think that, from what I've seen so far, that Stallions, it would be really hard for them to win this Gavudu. Obviously, going from a Bocage is very hard to judge how you are going to do in a hard point versus another team in the second one. But from what I've seen so far, the setups are really good from the side of 18 and Cracked, and there's not really a whole lot of craziness that you can do on a map like this. Like, what the pushes are meta, you're pretty much going to be covering the same thing the whole time, and ideally. So I don't think that the surprise factor is going to necessarily be too much there for Stallions, and it's going to come down to who can play the map better, more or less.
Yeah, I mean, and this
is
excuse me. Yeah, I was gonna say there's gonna be a lot of this is gonna focus a lot more on rotations for both of these teams, and I definitely think that the veteran experience of 18 and Cracked will definitely guide them that direction. I mean, it's something that they just know needs to happen. No, then don't get me wrong. The Stallions know it too. They know how to play good fundamental COD, but they got to make sure they take advantage of it and they make sure they get 18 and Cracked off those rotations. If Stallions get the rotations, this is when they can make their play and get this map. They could definitely do it, man. I mean, we just saw it happen. I mean, they got crushed in that first hard point on Bocage for sure, but who knows, man? This might be their map. We are going from Bocage to Gavitu, remember?
I mean, I'll preface this by saying, far be it from me at this point to question Stallions' ability to win any map doing any method they want. They should be named Whatever It Takes, because they pretty much do whatever it takes to win these last two maps. But obviously, they are owned by Zuma and Stallions, so they got to go with that name. But regardless, going into this map, I'm not totally counting Stallions out. I just think that based on the advantages that 18 and Cracked has going into this, it's likely that they will come away with this with the win and will go into Search and Destroy.
Loaded up here on map 4, Gavitu hard point. Stallions going to look to close it out against 18 and Cracked. 18 and Cracked just trying to stay alive. Let's see what they're going to be able to do here. To be 18 and Cracked. Here on the P4 side. Going to push on through. It's going to be all about these first bloods, and I think Cryptic is going to have a nade in mind. He's going to go on the side of the beach and try to look for this flank, but it's going to be a bloodbath in the middle for the stairs. And 18 Cracked are going to push on through, get both of them, and they're going to be pushing up here to get this first blood. So first point for attacking Cracked. 18 Cracked. I almost said attack and Cracked. That's a new name.
I mean, they sound similar. They're very similar sounding words, so I'll forgive you for that one. Either way, that is literally the start that 18 and Cracked needed. They're able to get total control over the map, cutoffs on their spawns, and they're going to make it very hard for someone like even Too Real to break out. He's going to somehow find a way onto the next objective, sort of making what I'm saying not too impactful at all. But Stallions, that's just an even further thing in their book that they had such a hard time. They should have had a hard time breaking out of their spawn there, but they didn't.
Zero playing real aggressive here as we start to move over towards P2. He's going to hop off that cliff side. He does find one, but does ultimately get taken out. Stallions going to try to retake this hill once again. His classic is going to be on the inside and find the kill. So it's just lighting up white here for 18 Crack here on the kill feed. Stallions had a couple towards the end of that original P1 play over in mid-map, but for the most part, it's been 18 Cracked until Cryptic decides he wants to grab 3 and help his team break this point on through. Johnny get away from the grenades to blow up. So good retake here out of the Stallions. They'll finally get some points back up on the board. Look to tie it and try to get some ship control here. Keep an eye on that time and keep an eye on those rotations. And actually, bigger rotations, look what Yuli's doing right now.
Oh my god, Yuli going right up into their spawn. That is audacious in the extreme, but you've got Cryptic making sure that you don't at least lose the spawns due to some crazy mishaps. But yeah, it's Stallions, they're looking pretty good right now. Literally the most far up you can push without shooting yourself in the foot with the spawns. And 18 and Cracked apparently losing a player, so that's a bit of a rough one for them.
Yeah, it's a rough one. Probably means we have to hop on out of this one. Everyone's just gonna kind of wait around and just kind of figure it out. But I guess that means we got ourselves a reset.
We do. We got a mulligan. We're hitting the reset
mulligan.
button.
Everyone just, wanted to kind of get themselves nice and warm again. It gets cold after a while after playing these for so long. But all right, so we'll just get that back up and running for you shortly. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Others, we will get that back to you shortly. I mean, is there really any takeaways you think off of those initial pushes out of either of these teams? You think they'll kind of do the same things again? And also, I want to talk about the Yuli flank a little bit. That was a little weird considering how much time was left on that hard point to me.
Well, I mean, it was granted a little bit risky, but it was still pretty well executed, as much as you can say that with a team only having 3 players. But regardless, the one major takeaway I have from that is the fact that even though Stallions lost the initial merge onto the objective very hard and could have in theory had a really bad time breaking out and getting back onto P2 or really any time on P1, they were still able to do it. So Stallions, they've got the bounce back factor. That's what I'm taking away from that.
The bounce back factor. I mean, 18 Crack doing what they do best. They were running a lot of those key gunfights. They had P1 basically all locked up until the bitter end there. Kill feed was lighting up in their favor. And that's definitely going to be something to keep an eye on as we go into this. We were just waiting for the lobby to get reset real quickly here. I think we will take a quick break for right now. We'll be back very, very shortly. We're just getting the lobby set up, but we'll be back. More Challengers action coming your way. All right, let's try this again. We're back into it. Sorry about that, folks. We are back here in map 4 in this series between 18 and Cracked and the Stallions. Stallions up 2-1, and it's going to get scrappy here on P1.
Yeah, and it's looking a lot better off the start from Stallions. They go for a completely different side of the map push. They went through mid-map push the first time, and it didn't go too well, but now they went through the top side of the map, and it worked a lot better. Looking pretty mixy on P1, and Stallions definitely have an outroad towards the next rotation if they want it.
Balls in the kill feed there. Bell's exploding left and right, even a TK to follow that one, but Stallions are going to use that to their advantage. Really, especially going to find 2 inside of the point. He's going to try to find this third. It's going to be Classic roaming around him, but Yuli's going to catch him in his back, but Classic just manages to stay alive. So a ring around the rosy we go. And Classic is going to ultimately win that one. So over to P2 we go. About dead even as we head on over.
Cryptic getting a good kill on the Shawnee is going to be making things pretty even over on the objective currently. But 2Real, I do believe, is going to be on the top of the ship, shooting down inside to exceed. And so it's going to be, yeah, very mixy once again. Sorry, Yuli, I almost called him Util, is going to be running right off the objective, but unfortunately, Soltis are waiting for him and the rest of his team. He gets a solid 3-piece there. Now, Stallions looking thoroughly stuck up in their spawn. This is one thing that I said they did a good job of avoiding, and it looks like they're going to be doing a pretty damn good job of it again as they instantly break out on the first attempt.
They break on through, and they're going to hold on to this point to be able to gain the lead here. So now keep an eye on the rotation. Shawnee going to be pushing in through P1 to try to get these P3 spawns. Yuli going to try to catch him off guard. Going to check the core. Does catch Shawnee out deep, and should be able to pick him up. But look at the spawn for Assault. Spawning back green. Is going to try to get spawns for the rest of his squad. Yuli going to try to get the early clear out, but he's going to be in for a rude awakening. He does find him, but has 2 more players waiting in the wings. He's got some help now over by P1. So it's going to be first 2 points here on P3 going to go in favor of the Stallions, but keep an eye on those spawns. That's what's going to be the difference.
Yeah, what I'm keeping my eye on is the fact that Classic is coming up through the middle of the map. And here's that 2Real. Yeah, he's going to be picking up on it, takes him down quite nicely. But now, all alone on the objective is going to be Yuli. He does have some Overwatch help, but unfortunately making 1 pixel too apparent to his opponent, and he does get ripped right off of it. The thing that stinks for 18 Correct is that the road onto the objective now is not going to be easy because still in control over P1 is going to be Stallions. So, yeah, making it a very difficult road to get any time off of this whatsoever. So, you see, now they're starting to think about going for next. Exceed and Classic being dedicated to that task, but 2Real already on the objective is going to be there making them some trouble.
Given military chest leads to a stalemate here on this P3. Not much happening. It is going to be 18 Cracked who do pick up the scrap time. Should be able to maintain a lead, but it is going to be Stallions who are going to be more than ready for this P4. They're probably going to get at least 10 seconds based off of this spawn for 18 and Cracked. So they're going to eat up a lot of time here, get themselves back into this one. What a setup here by the Stallions. They're starting to win the gunfights they really need to here to keep 18 and Cracked on their heels.
Oh, look at this from Cryptic. He's chilling behind the rock, but he knows he's there. Can't win the shell either way. Classic, very good standing of your ground by Cryptic. I'm going to turn up onto the ship. He's seen Shawnee, and now he's going to be trying to tiptoe his way back up onto the ship. But Assault says, "You're not slick." Takes him down for the count. But Stallion still holding this high line very nicely. Classic, unfortunately for them, is going to be taking down 2 of them on the tank. And now the floodgates are going to be open, and the util will be dumped.
It will be dumped. What a massive load here out of the Stallions. Getting the full point here. 18 and Cracked. Barely going to bother with this one. Assault just basically looking for some clean feeds, but not really going to be able to find any. Oh, look at number 6 on the bottom of your minimap. That's going to be 2Real. He's going to be set up for next. He's going to be set up on point, and 18 Cracked have no idea that he's going to be sitting back there. Now I think they're starting to realize they got to get back. They're trying to play the feeds off, but now they got to get this kill. But 2Real is going to find 2 to defend this point by himself. He doesn't need any help. The lone Stallion continuing to do work inside of P5 to kick this off, finally getting in some reinforcements, and that spawns for the Stallions.
What an incredible hold from the side of the Stallions. They're looking so dang good right now. Yuli now getting on the objective. 18 and Cracked. They thought that they had that rotation on lockdown. They didn't even really check for anyone because they're like, oh, we got that spawn trap on lockdown. But unfortunately for them, they did not. And they pay the ultimate price for it, losing all their players to 2Real. And now what could have been an easy rotation for them is going to be only 20 seconds of hill time. Great hill for the Stallions.
That's how you string some hills together. What a great couple of hills. P4 and P5 almost all going in the way of the Stallions. Such a great string of hills are going to put 18 and Cracked in some trouble. They got a long way to go to try to bring this one back. Stallion's going to get the rest of the scrap time. Back to P1 we go. First rotation, definitely going in favor of the Stallions.
Yeah, what makes matters worse is I said that 18 and Crack were going to get 20 seconds off that, but not even that was given them by the Stallions. And now breaking on to P1 again, they are just absolutely having 18 and Crack right now. They're literally spawn trapped now, Stallions. I don't know how good they are generally on this map, but they're having the Gavudu of their lives today. 150 to 60 going into the second rotation. That is absolutely astonishing.
And Cryptic starting to fry again. Look at him lighting up the barrel of that gun. Gonna continue to fry, and he got some help too. So P1 just getting all absorbed by the Stallions. They're up by 100 points after these hills, and that's gonna be a quick clean out too. So now the race over to P2, and who else is gonna win it but 2Real, who's gonna get on over there. Finally getting killed out are the Stallions. So 18 Crack should have the first few points here on next, but I mean, it's 180 to 60.
Yeah, they're winning a lot of gunfights in a row. Before they finally got, a little bit of retribution there, the Stallions, they killed 9 people in a row without a single kill going the other way. So Stallions definitely looking like they got the upper hand on their opponents right now. And Exceed getting fried again by 2Real. They are going to be able to get back on the objective though, but Stallions are very, very much ready to go in for the retake. They get another 2, forcing Classic away, and now it's going to be a tough 2v many for Shawnee.
Going to be waiting on top of the P2, going to get the rest of the time, but they are going to be focused on P3. Look at where Classic is. He's going to be trying to make the sneaky play, but he does get caught. So Stallions holding steadfast over by these spawns. Keep an eye on Excedo. He's going to try to make this play, and he does. He gets the breakthrough, but Stallions still spawning nearby, so he will get picked up. So P3 should go in the hands of the Stallions to kick this off, and keep an eye on Assault. We're going to keep an eye on where he's going, while the rest of 18 and Crack are going to have P1 and get this set up. Watch the rotation. Stallions are going to be there, but keep an eye on this flank.
Yeah, 2Real definitely in a good spot right now, but Classic able to get right up close and personal with him. No one really watching the close angle just yet. Yuli is going to get there a little bit too late because he was off the respawn. But Stallions still completely throwing up the feed now. 18 and Crack, this is looking like an absolute disaster. This is, if they still can lose their spot in the playoffs, especially the Stallions, mind you. If they lose this head-to-head and they lose the next game, they're on the chopping block well and truly, and Stallions are making it look like it's very much going to happen.
They're making this quick, too. I mean, they're over the double century mark. They're at 221, and they're still holding. They're going to get close to winning this game. They're going to get very close. They should be able to get around the 240 mark. And I think 18 and Crack realize they are in trouble. They got to back up. Now it's going to be seamless. Perfect. Just crystal clear COD coming at 18 and Crack that they even have a sliver of a chance to try to bring this one back. But right now, they have just completely blown open the beach side. They have a chance at this. They might be able to flip these spawns out.
Wide open is the spawns of 18 and Cracked right now. In goes Cryptic and Yuli, the mother of all pitches. Here it comes, and they are full wipe. That is going to be it. Game done and dusted unless Assault has anything to say about this. And he doesn't. He just dies, and that will be Stallions taking one over the side of 18 and Cracked, winning the series. The fight is still alive, Robert.
Okay. I mean, I don't think we could have ever predicted that, but the Stallions have brought this one home 3-1. Wow, man, that was just a different team that we just watched.
Like I said, far be it from me to underestimate the Stallions after that first bocage. Every single game since then, they looked so unbelievably awesome. I mean, they almost came back on in the Search and Destroy just because they are going up against a lot of former CDL players and they tend to do things like that. But overall, they were pulling one over on 18 and Cracked 9 times out of 10. They were looking, they looked like they well and truly knew what they're doing. And hats off to whoever their coach is. That guy needs a raise or something, man. That was awesome.
Yeah, they're definitely. I think it was Zuma's cousin. I couldn't hear his name or catch his name, but I mean, Vinny Gates. That's right. So I know he's been coaching them, and I mean, there was definitely some coaching involved there. Those unorthodox plays we saw in that control and those S&Ds there for the Stallions just proved to be the most beneficial things for the squad. And that hard point was just textbook, man. I mean, 18 Cracked literally had nothing. They had nothing to do there. There was nothing they could have possibly done to get the Stallions off of these points, man. It was a different team at that point. So. Man, GG's to the Stallions and just GG's all around. So playoff hope's still alive here for the Stallions, and 18 Crack now will probably have a little bit more of a complicated road going forward.
Yeah, coming out of today, like we did say, Stallions, they do still have a chance of getting into the playoff spot. They need to get in playoff spot number 4. They won their first game today, but they still have to win their remaining one tomorrow, which is up against good old whatever it takes. So they have to win that one as well. They still need UIU to bump up again over 18 and Cracked into third place, and they still need 18 and Cracked to lose to Ultra Academy tomorrow. If all those things happen, then you will still be seeing Stallions with another chance in the playoffs, but all that remains to be seen, and it's for tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure you guys come back tomorrow for some more awesome action. Can the Stallions make it? We'll just have to find out tomorrow.
And I think with that being said, Kyle, it's been lovely being in the booth with you tonight. Thank you so much for being alongside me tonight. That's it. Be sure, like I said, to come back tomorrow. We got a lot more great games coming ahead. Good night, good God, everybody. We'll see you next time.